welcome back. Welcome back, Paul. Welcome back, Charles, again.
Not hearing the intro anymore still throws me off.
It's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
Like it just going
There's commercials in front, so you don't even hear the intro
Yeah.
anymore anyway. So it's
Well, that's still
It's the sound that you're used to for 2 years, and then it's just gone.
I mean,
and you got Spotify people like, well, I thought I paid for premium.
we gotta come. We'll have to.
Better take it up with StreamYard.
We'll have to come up with a new intro. Then I guess I just didn't.
It's all like all of a sudden the red light's on, and you're like, hey.
So speaking of intros, right?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Check this out. So I was talking to the guy who did the NBA theme song that I was telling you about. That
Yeah, the NBC one, right?
Yeah. So apparently there's a guy on. I think I found him on Instagram, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Yo, bro, you got a podcast? You need an intro?" And I was just thinking of it as spam or whatever. And he's got the electric keyboard, dude.
Yeah,
he can do those like theme songs like that.
Yeah,
and I was like, we get that with our voiceover guy, with our with an echo, and have us introduce us like starting lineup for like an NBA game. Yeah.
How much does that run?
I at this point I really don't care if it's cool. It's cool.
That's badass.
To be honest, we can just do it for fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm down.
I can't imagine a 30-second clip is more than $50. I mean, it's well worth me attempting it.
It's an investment.
Yeah, let's think of it that way.
Brings character to the show.
So it reminds me of that time when the USA beat Canada.
And everybody started beating each other.
Wait, can we break this down for a minute? Can we break down the fact that Canadians are pissed off at the Americans, not just over hockey, but they're pissed at the national anthem just being played?
I think it's pretty.
Like, how can you be mad at a sporting event for playing the national anthem for one of the countries playing at a sporting event?
They do
that in the Olympics?
At the Four Nations Cup. Come the fuck on, Canada.
What did you think was going to happen? You're mad because it was the U.S. national anthem.
No, we're mad because somebody somewhere said something about a 51st state. All right.
Listen, it's never going to happen, so I don't understand why they're
never going to happen.
Besides, you all wouldn't be one state anyways. You'd be like 6.
Maybe 8 or 10, because there's like all kinds of. There's all
the poor ones with the rich ones. So yeah,
either way, the chance of that happening within the next 2 to 4 years, calm down.
Super soon.
It's not gonna happen.
Right. Calm down.
We do this thing called voting, right? Where one guy doesn't come up there and ruin our whole fucking lives.
Like, calm down.
Did you hear the Kachuk brothers though?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I love it, man.
His mom's Canadian. He goes, "What, you wouldn't play for Team Canada?" He's like, "Fuck no, I wouldn't play for Canada."
No, his dad played for Team USA.
Like, I'm American.
Yeah, his dad only played for Team USA. Like, it's fuck. Like, I've only ever thought about playing for Team USA. That's what he said. Fuck yeah. And that fucking puck dropped and whack, so did the gloves.
9 seconds into the goddamn game.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, but
everybody lifted their hands.
David, who's this tiny little dude, should not be running his fucking mouth against all these really
dude, and
beefy fucking American.
Wow, and I like Connor McDavid is a generational hockey player,
but he's not a tough
guy.
But
I agree with you 100%, and he doesn't have a team filled with tough guys, right?
If he had bruisers and enforcers to protect him, I would be
like back in the day. Like, you didn't fuck with Pavel Datsyuk, right?
Yeah.
Because you had a handful of people coming up your face up. That's just the whole USA team, and that's what happened. But it was hilarious because a few minutes in, Connor McDavid scores, and it's 1-0 Canada. And everyone's, oh, yeah, 3 fights in the first 90 seconds, but Canada's got the lead.
No. Well, Charles, you have to do it in a Canadian accent.
That didn't last that long.
Oh, no, yeah.
Come on, give us your best Canadian accent. The talking head.
I should have done it in Canadian. I missed that one. Yeah, absolutely. But it didn't last very long. And then it was like just a fucking straight beat down from there on.
It was 4-1 or 3-1. Yeah, 3-1.
It's 3-1.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna get round 2
Thursday night.
We're gonna get round 2 because somehow or another Canada managed to hold off a late push from Finland, so that was pretty sweet. It's been good hockey. It's way better than the NBA, right? Let's just put something out there. This isn't on Adam Silver. This is the fact that the NBA is filled with a bunch of bitches. And I'm sorry, we're not even 10 minutes in, and I'm throwing down these harsh French words.
Yeah, we'll get used
But
to it. This
this
is
is
season 3. This
it's
is
the fucking truth.
yeah.
All right. The NBA is filled with just a bunch of bitches who don't want to play, who want all the money and want all the accolades, but don't want to play. It's fucking All-Star weekend, LeBron James. You could be
You
there
knew
and
you
the
weren't gonna
cameras
play.
the
You
cameras are
could
going
have
to be
gave
on
up
him
your
anywhere.
spot.
Absolutely.
That
I'm not
didn't
going to
make
be
any
very many of
sense.
these left, so I'm just trying to stay in the fucking moment.
Very
You're-
many. Does he really thinks he's got more?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to push it for as long as he can.
Do you think
Like,
he wants
because
to go
Vince
down?
pulled,
Obviously,
I
as
think
the
Vince Carter
longest tenured
played till
player.
24 seasons. Vince Carter
Yeah.
played 24 seasons, and that was coming off the bench mainly the last 6 to 8 seasons of
Hey,
those.
I liked me a little bit of Vince Carter.
I'm
coming
not
off
saying.
the
I'm
bench.
just saying that if
Here's
Vince
the
can do
thing.
24 years, I'm almost certain that
Without a
he's go-
cult.
he's
Yes.
gonna push 25.
LeBron James can definitely do it with a cult, right?
He's
and
pushing
that's
at least 25 years.
and that's the thing with the NBA voting and just the entire circus that is the league. And they're talking about more money. You're just going to
Just
put more
turned-
money in, and we'll play
just
harder
turned
for more
40.
I
money.
know how to fix the dunk contest. I know exactly how to fix it. You
We've
do
talked about it numerous
2
times.
NBA
yeah.
players, 2 street dunkers, put the purse at $1 million. I bet you none of these NBA players want to get embarrassed by a street dunker.
I don't
On
think
national-
I don't think a street dunker could beat Mac McClung. If there was
I'm not
one out
saying
there,
that,
I
but I'm
think that
saying
he
the,
could.
the peak interest of you're telling me you're going to pick up 2 people off the street that do this professionally against 2 NBA players that dunk all the time. Who's going to outperform who?
They won't. But here's the problem, Paul, is that they're only offering like 150,000.
Nah, you gotta make the purse
This is
bigger.
a slap in the face for
Yeah.
the dunk champion. Mac McClung has literally played the G League his entire career and made what 280K.
He's
in, like,
made
5 seasons.
$356,000 in 3 dunk contest competitions.
That's all they're paying
His
is
whole
$100,000 for
career
a
in
dunk
G League,
contest winner. That's
I think he
pathetic.
made 263 or 250 something like that in I think 6 or 7 years of playing in the G League.
Have they ever raised the price of how much they're paying these guys? I feel like Muggsy
I'm
Bogues
like-
back in the 90s made that much
And this
money
is the
off of the
thing:
dunk
for you to
contest.
tell me that you're only paying these cats about $100,000 each time they win the dunk contest, and you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you telling me you can't put up at least $500K for a winning?
Yeah.
That makes no freaking
Oh, I
sense to
agree.
me.
I don't make enough money to be angry with you guys.
Charles,
If we're on the same
But the
page.
All-Star Weekend in
Charles,
general
No,
was
I
big.
agree with you. I got nothing to say. Like I
No,
agree
mean,
with you.
As greedy as the NBA is,
No,
with
I
their
agree with you.
players, why can't they pony up a little bit more for
No,
the
listen,
All-Star break?
I got nothing to say. I agree with the both of you,
Yeah.
indubitably, with
it's a
everything
waste of
inside of
bread.
me. But
It
I
is
don't
a
make enough money right now to be like, oh yeah, no, 150K. That's fucking weak.
Oh no! Hey,
Listen, I agree with you. I
If-
agree with you.
Check
A
this out,
multi-billion-dollar company.
check
I'm just
this
saying,
out.
like,
If it came down to it, we were a multi-million-dollar company and we had Barstool money,
Yeah.
I would put $1 million purse
I
on
would
the slam
sponsor
dunk,
it.
and I would tell Paul, I'd be like, Paul, me and Charles are handpicking the street ballers to come in and go against the NBA players.
yeah, if
I think
If
we
I
were-
had the
I
money
think
to
that
do
would
it,
be
I would
fucking
definitely
cool as
put up the
fuck.
money.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm sponsoring this, so you got to put my
that
name
might
all
be
over
why
this.
we don't have the money to do it, though.
Yeah,
It's
'cause they
because
are-
we
yeah.
spend $20 like we're millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
And I promise you,
spend $1 million
and this
like
is
I
the
was a
thing,
millionaire.
leading up to that dunk
I'm
contest,
20 a
I'm going to
millionaire.
have a
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be
tournament.
homeless the next
I'm going to have
day.
a tournament for the street dunkers for the top 2 make it into
Yeah.
the dunk contest.
Oh,
on the NBA
listen,
All-Star Weekend.
there's-
I'm going to make a skeptical about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name with the big 3? I feel so bad.
You
Ice
know what they
Cube?
should have is an
Yeah,
alley-oop
I
competition.
was thinking
too.
Ice Cube, but why did I keep going to Fitty?
I don't know. Ice Cube,
old.
if they could have a 3-on-3 competition with the
old.
big 3 at All-Star Weekend, that would be sick.
That would be sick, right?
You know what?
But
was
again,
really
these are all
cool?
ideas that make sense, but for some reason, you want to try everything else but
Hey.
what the people want to see.
Hey, tell me how stupid Jock Jams was, the thought of Jock Jams back in the day, but how cool some of those fucking games were. Those were some pretty sweet games back in the day.
Have you seen, there was this video I saw, had to do with dunking. It had a dunk contest. It was, I don't know if y'all seen it. It's like playing NBA Jam, but it had the trampolines spread around the floor.
Yeah, slam
Yeah,
ball.
I've seen it.
Slam ball. Imagine that at the dunk contest instead of this bullshit that they gave us.
I
You
want
try-
all the white guys that
You
can't
trying to
dunk
fucking
on- they
kill
can
them on
jump on
All-Star
trampolines.
Weekend?
Listen,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just
The most
Eat these
unathletic
nuts off of this
players out there.
trampoline, bitch.
like imagine
Difficult
imagine the
pitches.
tricks that.
Some of the good guys that could dunk could definitely.
And I'm
do
not
tricks,
saying
yeah.
keep the NBA players off the trampoline because y'all a bunch of pussies anyway.
That's what I'm saying, bro. What are you
But
talking about?
I'm saying get the people like.
The first thought on their mind would be, well, what if I hurt myself?
Don't worry about it. You're not invited.
You're not invited. We want only the best, but
You
you're
just
not
keep
invited.
making that stupid fucking money, you dumbasses.
Did you see there was a quote? I don't know if it was LeBron
It's like, you know
James.
what I could do
Stephen,
with
he goes,
150K right now?
that's life-changing dinero right there.
That's
Debt paid, house down payment.
I'm just sitting here, we're about to buy a house, so I'm not the perfect person to have these conversations with.
I'm gonna
on the
clean house.
radio.
Charles, I'm in the same boat right now, but I'm starting to think that maybe Paul's got a plan and a good idea here.
I know. Listen,
I'm not ready to dump money into it, but I agree with
I
you.
say
Yeah.
if we ever get that money after we buy our houses, of course. Houses is a priority.
I'm all for it, but it depends. And the other reason why I say it depends is, listen, that's really cool, but how much money are we going to make off of it, and what are we going to do with that money? Because otherwise, I'd rather just take. I'd rather just.
viewership.
No.
We could take a fucking GoPro to Africa with that $1 million and build a bunch of fucking water wells and get way more views.
Well,
All right, we can be
but
Mr. Beast 2.0. I'm good
I'm
with
just
that.
saying. I'm just saying.
I've got a plan.
Well, why can't we do both?
Exactly.
If we can, why don't we build the wells and then do the fucking thing? But
here's the
I don't
kicker.
know,
right
We
here.
got time.
I'm
Charles,
a dick.
This is the kicker. It's going to
Because
be.
if you could build 100 wells, why not build 500?
Yeah. This is how we're going to get to that
Right,
point.
millionaire.
Paul is going to be the architect for this. He's going to design it. He's going to plan it out. He's going to bring it to Adam Silver. What's going to happen? Charles is going to be the back end bookie on this deal, and he's going to have it sponsored by. We're going to have St. Jude. Our donations to St. Jude. We'll have the blankets out there. We'll be carrying them across the stadium, and we're going to have it where the money goes to St. Jude. So we'll donate whatever we use to sponsor it goes right back to St. Jude. So we'll get the children involved.
Because we're gonna get
Helping
paid
some
off the
people
viewership
out.
from people tuning in. That's where we're gonna get paid from.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
And we
like
can
an
build
interview.
we can
Fuck
build
it.
1 million wells in Africa.
I'm just saying, again, that's where my mind's at, right? Like,
Listen, I'm for it.
but again,
Listen,
We don't
it's
have
not
that
an
money.
it's
There's
not
no-
an
no,
it's not an
it's-
unattainable goal.
this ain't Richie Rich, motherfuckers.
I get we got plans, okay?
Listen, I'm
got
all
dreams,
listen,
And
man.
if I go
I'm
up,
throwing
we all
coal.
go up.
I'm throwing coal into the fucking train's engine here. All right, I
All
get
right,
it.
I'm the crane,
we
I'm
all up here hustling. I'm just saying, I ain't spending what we don't have yet, and I'm definitely not
Word.
spending it on the bitch ass basketball players.
Yeah, right. It's just a
We
Lego
could do our
train.
own, just the tournament at the basketball tournament for all the bracket. We could do our
Yeah.
own little shit, but just a dunking.
I see, but listen, I agree.
Fuck the
I
NBA.
agree, but that shit's already done. They fucked that shit up.
No.
You know what I would like to do? Honestly, like an ESPN Ocho tournament, an Ocho Olympics.
So all just different random.
What
But
kind
I'm
of
talking like RC fucking racing, right? Like RC dirt
Ooh,
racing,
that would be fun.
That'd
Or
be
even
fun.
even what's it called? The fucking drone races that they
the
be doing
drone
at night.
races.
Yeah, did you see?
That's going to be
football?
way cooler than this bullshit fucking basketball that everybody already
Hey,
plays.
but who lit the fire for you to come up and say this out loud?
Hey, did you see ESPN?
These are the
had
plans.
Golf on yesterday.
What's that?
Foot golf.
Foot? I saw that.
Yeah, they kick soccer balls into it. They play golf, but it's with their feet and like
Yeah.
soccer balls.
I
It
saw
was
this
on
other one.
ESPN for fuck's sake, and they actually had fans and people there, and they had uniforms that were like the most cringy.
They give
saw
up
them things
I've ever
400
seen.
grand for hobby horsing. You're
I
gonna
know.
find fans
Listen,
for this
I
bullshit.
saw
I
this
know. They
craziest
can
sport.
find fans, but we can't find fans.
That's what I'm saying.
Come
Those
on,
extreme
man.
sports for fucking Europe and shit. We would just
I
bring
just
it right
saw
to the
this
internet.
crazy sports clip the other day. It was hockey and football
combined.
combined on ice.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
I was like, who the fuck created this monster?
Somebody's gonna lose a jugular.
A monster. A monster created.
Like, why does somebody need to die for everyone to realize that that's a terrible fucking idea?
Like,
Yeah,
why would you
would
do
be
that
like
to
the
people?
equivalent of
But it's
somebody saying
2025.
yes.
It is 2025, right?
That's
Yeah,
huge.
that-
it's
That's a
not-
great idea.
252.
That was a terrible
AD.
idea.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Dude lost teeth over that. Fuck.
That
Stupid.
what?
Football, hockey.
Why don't you just put butcher knives on your arms?
Just,
Wave around.
Just do
Who's gonna get cut
just
first?
spin, and the first person that can bleed
Bernie, Bernie,
loses.
cut, cut.
What the? Are you
Twice.
doing?
You lose because you got cut. You lose because you're probably dead.
Could you even imagine that fucking Edward Scissorhands coming at your ass, coming down the field? You're throwing a football at him, and he's just chop chop.
And who the fuck signs up for this?
People
Who
that need
wakes
money,
up and goes, "Oh, all right, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea."
let's put some football on ice.
Probably a lot of divorced dads from Canada.
I'm pretty sure this was in
Europe somewhere. They don't even know what football is in Europe.
or maybe I'm like maybe Russia
Maybe
because they
on
like
TV.
hockey over there.
Oh, I saw a crazy one in Russia. All right, check this
Charles
out.
is still flipped out about this.
You know curling, right? So
Yeah, I
Russia's
love
got
curling.
Russia's got
I
this curling type deal thing, but on top of the curling ball is a damn monkey. And that monkey
I'm
hops
confused.
off. I'm not kidding you with this. I saw it on it was like a world weirdest sports or whatever. The
Curling
monkey
monkey?
hops off the curling the curling stone, and he gets off of there and he starts moving, orientating the little stones or balls around, and so that it doesn't hit them. But he hops off ahead of time and moves them. He's gonna land him in between that circle that he creates. So they train these monkeys to basically
That's too
run
much
out
work.
there and
The
do
fuck
weird
you on a monkey tear?
I was
this
on a
weekend?
monkey tear. Yeah, Charles. Like I watched the
Jesus.
That's too much.
ice-skating chimpanzees. The freaking
The moment he started talking about it, I'm like, this was probably in the '60s or some shit.
no, this is like in the '90s, like when they were.
That's too much work.
It was a
You
lot
gotta-
of work.
That's too
But
much.
it was like
I
some
quit.
weird. It was some weird gambling
No.
thing where they would get a number, and it would be like that number goes in that circle, and that's they get like almost like a bingo card. It was a weird fucking thing. But Russians will gamble on pretty much damn near anything.
I'm not gambling on
mean-
something with a fucking monkey.
No, I don't trust them to begin with.
How did we even get here?
Because you're
Like
talking
you're
about weird
thinking in your
sports.
just like Charles said, you're thinking of the couch. You know what? I like curling, I like balls, and I like monkeys.
Anything that gets
I
me
don't
close to a
but
monkey,
the
I'm
thing
there.
is, I don't trust monkeys. I never did. I'm a big
Anything that
fan.
gets me close to a monkey, I'm there.
That's just the most weirdest sport ever, though.
It is. Yeah.
That's what happens when we have free time. We start watching weird shit.
Dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go to YouTube and type in monkey curling and hamster bomb is the name of the freaking account that has all the videos. Interesting.
See, I like something I'm going to do here soon. Once we get the house, is like that treadmill racing, right?
Oh,
Like,
with the balls and the cars, and
whatever, with
everything?
anything, with everything.
Right,
yeah,
right.
if it can roll, I'm
When
gonna,
I tell you, I
I'm
went down
doing
a
it.
rabbit hole one day watching that
watching
for like
those fucking
45
things.
minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's way cooler than basketball. Honestly, I can't sit down and watch basketball for 6-7 straight hours, but I could watch that fucking treadmill racing for.
There's a lot of things that I could watch. I'm like, I'll watch basketball like as it gets closer to the playoffs, just because that's just me. But like
No, I'm the
during
same
the
way.
season, like especially on TikTok, you can find that one video, and then all of a sudden you just go down this rabbit hole for 30, 45 minutes watching.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking RC racing.
Yeah.
RC race. It's all fucking. It is what it is, and then we'll have like people in the comments. I just think that's just way cooler. I don't know. But I could be way wrong, but
There you
There
go.
was this one thing. No,
I told you it was in the fucking. That's not the '90s, dude. We
black
fucking
and white photo.
black and white photo. My ass. It's
look
just
at
from
that
the
little-
fucking '50s
That
again.
little handkerchief.
the
He's got
fact that was a
there.
thing.
It
It blows my mind.
You could hop on the little freak.
We're taking a black and white photo at that fucking
Tell me
time.
that's not cool as shit though.
The most weirdest thing ever.
Remember last off
Trust
season?
me.
You saw it. Wait, wasn't there like
come
fake?
on Monday with me and Charles if you think that's the weirdest thing
Yeah,
ever? You're gonna be
was-
going down
Did
a
it say,
rabbit
wasn't
hole.
it like fake pussy hair patches?
Oh my god, when he put that up there.
Yeah.
Like, that's not real.
Oh,
Talking about you want to
oh,
buy
oh.
fake pubes
Oh, you guys
on
wanna have
Amazon.
All right, next time Mike comes on before the football season starts, we'll have another. What does
Yo.
this cost?
Funny thing, because this happened, I think 3 weeks ago.
Wait,
I
this one.
opened up my Amazon because I went to go buy something for. It was right before Maya's birthday. I went to go buy something off her list, and as soon as I opened Amazon, you know what popped up?
Diarrhea.
A dildo.
Oh, it does.
All right,
See,
Paul. What were you saying to your phone?
I could have had a million guesses, and dildo
Dildo
would
was
have
not gonna-
never
Well, nope.
been one of those guesses.
Monkey,
I was like, babe,
curling iron.
have you been on my phone?
I'd start with fucking
Paul,
conversations.
if anything like that pops up on my phone, the phone's getting tossed.
It's like, what are you doing?
That's awesome. You must have had your phone
Yeah.
one of the times you were.
I
You
guess we was
doing the
doing
business.
something.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
listening
yeah.
too hard. Calm
Phone's
down,
like,
NSA.
Oh, I got you. This might.
You want to know something really funny? Like I had a coworker. There was a Facebook post or whatever, and I was showing him on my phone, but it said NSFW, and he goes to me. I see that a lot. I see a lot on stuff, and I was like, "You're like 60. Do you even know what that means?" No, that's what he says, and I'm like, "It says it's not suitable for work," and he goes, "That's not what I thought it meant."
Wait a damn minute.
I was like, "What do you mean? What did you think it meant?" I thought it meant something else. And then he wouldn't say it. He wouldn't say it. And then
He didn't tell you?
No, he wouldn't tell me. But I'm thinking it had something to do with women. I think he thinks the W is for women.
So my mom we're Puerto Rican, right? She's from Puerto Rico, right? Mm-hmm. She didn't move into the country like permanently till she was like in her mid-20s. So her English is still, I don't understand. She's 60, she'll be 66 in October, and her English is still tore out the frame sometimes.
Hey, you do what you want.
Listen, I don't fight the woman anymore. I just try to translate in my brain what the hell she's trying to say. So she called me one day for two things. One, she said, "Son, why are people getting so upset that I'm saying cracker at work all the time?" Now, mind you, this woman used to work for the IRS. And you just walk around this building as a brown person calling white people crackers and think that it's normal. She goes, "Nobody got offended. Are you sure? Are you sure?" My mom has what I call old people syndrome.
Yeah, my mom's got it.
She feels like because she's old that she could say whatever she wants and nobody's supposed to say anything. And so that next day she calls me talking about, "Hey, son, what does cunt mean?" So, Ma, I'm getting off the phone. I'm not about to explain to you what cunt means.
I try not to say too much about old people, mostly because when I get there,
they're going to talk about you.
I'm going to be one of them.
I already told you my plan.
I don't care.
Old. I want
Everybody
to be
can
that
get to smoke.
person who literally just gets to like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm old, and you're just gonna chalk it up to me just being an old cranky bastard. That's
and Charles, this is the crazy part. Me and you already say whatever we want in our 30s, going in our 40s. You're telling me that people don't think that it's going to get worse in 20, 30 years from now?
Of course it's going to get worse.
Oh, it's going to get worse. I've already decided that I'm going to have pink flamingos in my yard. Oh, it's like the tall tale sign of
he's
senile.
Like 360.
That guy's losing it.
I'm gonna have pink flamingos in my yard.
Actually,
kids are gonna walk down the road and
colored ones.
They're gonna have stories. They're gonna be making up stories about Charles that aren't true.
The new kid's gonna be walking with the kids.
Did you hear what happened to the guy that lived at that house?
Everyone stops at the stop sign and they look for cars. They turn.
The guy that hands a weird Halloween candy.
They go, "No, I'm gonna hand out the good candy. Fuck that. I ain't a fucking.
I'm not that crazy.
I ain't a creeper, bro. Come on.
You're gonna think you're the old cool guy.
What the fuck? You just ain't gonna be on my lawn, motherfucker.
But I'll give you the good stuff.
You can get the good fucking candy. No, they find out. That's what's gonna happen.
Here's the
step on my fucking lawn.
Speaking of stepping on lawn, all right. What is the etiquette? What is the etiquette for when the wintertime, like when dogs go do their business, take a shit in somebody's yard, and it's freaking there's snow?
You better pick that shit up.
No, Manny yells at me when the dog walks in the snow in people's yards, and I'm like, it ain't gonna do nothing. There's freaking 2 feet of snow.
I'm like, I got a backyard, so
I'm not talking about him pissing or shitting. I'm just talking about him walking on it.
Oh, well, I don't care.
Rude. And I'm like, I don't care what my dog does. It's winter. Those people don't even care about shoveling their driveway or sidewalk. Do you think they care about if my dog goes in their yard and walks around?
I'm like, if there's 3-4 feet of snow, I can give 2 flying bucks what he's doing.
Absolutely.
I'm not cutting the grass. I'm not worried about the grass right now. It's dead.
But Charles, I'm thinking in his head, it's a different story. He goes, if I see anything, a leaf out of place, you're fucking getting the wrath, is what he's thinking.
Maybe 20 years from now.
No, you just ain't gonna fuck with my lawn.
Are you gonna have
After or
lasers out
before
there
or
with
during
Ring
the snow?
cameras, or
It
what?
ain't about the dogs or nothing. You just ain't gonna be walking in my fucking yard. I don't care about the dogs.
What if it snows?
If they piss or poop in the yard, whatever. If you don't pick it up,
Well, you
but if
better
you
pick
fuck
it
my
up.
yard up when you
House is
pick it
gonna have
up, like, what
security
the
You just
fuck?
don't
and
want
satellite
children running
all
all
over
over
his
your
yard.
yard.
I sit around all day. I don't need security cameras. I'm gonna have a bay fucking window.
He's just gonna.
I'm gonna have a goddamn
You're gonna be
porch.
like that dog that lays in the bay window and just stares at all the neighbors and gets pissed off at
Hey,
every time they walk by.
Get
Hey!
off my yard. Get off my lawn. Hell yeah. The kid's gonna be walking down the street. They're gonna go to
Come
the
back
other
here
side.
with a trash bag and come get this shit off my
Yeah,
yard.
fuck yeah. I don't care. It'll show up on your front doorstep on fire.
Don't go in Papa Sire's yard. He'll freaking knock your
Yeah.
lights out.
Everyone goes to the other side. New kid,
Slash-
Timmy.
Slash your tires on
What
your
the
new
hell are you
bike,
doing?
baby.
Timmy, man, you can't walk on that. Man, there's fucking old man Sires lives down there,
Yeah,
dude.
you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today, boy.
I'm glad you brought that up because it was like a couple years after I got out the military. I was still living in Killeen, and the house that I was renting, the owner didn't put up the fence yet, but he had planned to, and so the house to my left didn't have a fence up either, but they had 4 kids. And one day I moved in maybe 2 months already in, and I see these little fuckers run across my backyard, and their dad is in the back porch watching these little fuckers just run back and forth from their yard to my yard. And I walk out there and say, "Hey, keep your little fucking kids off my yard."
Yeah.
She goes, "They're just playing. You got your own backyard. Keep them there."
Yeah.
They're like, "You're gonna throw a fit over some kids?" Yes. Keep your kids off my fucking yard. I'm trying to build a fucking deck out here, and you guys are just running over it and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the other thing is I
Yeah.
don't think they understand that if they were to get hurt on your property, if there's no private property sign, you're responsible.
I'm not paying for your shit ass kids.
Teach your kids some home training.
I'm just saying.
It's not
I'm
that
being
hard.
honest.
It's not hard.
Frickin'
If your
laws
kid
are-
decides to run in my yard and trips over something that's in my yard that I put, and he busts his ankle or breaks his arm, that's on you as a parent, not me.
Yeah, but in the courts,
it doesn't work.
financially, it's on you.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for shit. You
Here's
got
the
to
funny
Financial. That's why you kick them out of your yard. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't get it. That guy's just an asshole. No, I got
Stay out
things
my
that I want
yard.
to. I got things that I want to spend my money on, and
And I don't
that's
want your
generally
kid
like
breaking it.
me and my wife, not your dumbass kid because he ran in my yard and broke his shit because fuck running around there, damn simple Jack.
This ain't hide and go seek in my backyard.
Boy,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
You don't hurt me anymore, Pa.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's called home training, and some of these people don't know how to give their
I
kid
don't
home
know.
training.
It's, you're not necessarily born with respect or disrespect. You just learn it through the system. So sometimes you just got to teach the system a lesson. And for them kids, it's the parents.
Yeah, like even when Olivia, before this year, she used to ride the bus the last 2 years before this school year, and she won't even walk on anybody's grass. And if she sees somebody, like while we're at the bus stop, and she sees somebody, one of the kids sitting on somebody's grass, hey, that's rude to stand on somebody's yard like that.
I like take my shoes off and walk through the grass.
I can't risk it. I got dogs in the back, and I don't pick up the poop.
That's how
It's
you
fertilizer.
Yeah,
Fertilizer,
that's yep.
The front is cool. The front is cool.
So that's where I would have went with my shoes off if I was you. I wouldn't go to your backyard.
I'm going to the backyard.
Go where the
There's
dogs
We
definitely
already
gonna-
discussed that your dogs go back there and poop. My mind, I'm walking in your front yard.
I'm well aware of the situation.
Yeah, I ain't them dumbass kids.
Daddy, I stepped on shit. Nobody told you to come back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I slipped and fell face first into a pile of shit. My
It
son
sounds like a you
fell in
problem.
shit. That sounds like you should be cleaning it instead of telling me about it.
I'm not helping you.
That's weird. It's weird that you felt.
Why are you coming to my door telling me
Why
that
would
your
you
kid-
tell me about this?
Did you clean it at least before?
Because
you
it
came here?
happened in your yard. I don't care where you let your kid.
Did
do
you let him
weird-ass
in here?
things.
'Cause
That's
I didn't let him
fucking-
in here.
That's weird.
I feel like I'm gonna be the old guy that like sets the lasers up with the squirt guns and freaking just shoot kids as they freaking come walking in my yard.
That is hilarious.
No, I don't want to fuck with them too hard because I want to scare them on Halloween.
I can see the
Try.
foolery in Charles's house.
That's what I'm saying.
I could just,
I think they're gonna know.
And this is the crazy thing.
And the
Everything
candy's
that I
got to
can-
be worth it.
Everything that I can imagine Charles doing, I feel like it's 10 times worse for Halloween.
Oh yeah. Oh, very much to an extent.
I'm like, nobody's gonna get hurt.
I don't fuck with kids like that. I do give them core memories, but
Like, how bad do I want this candy?
I'm just saying, like, some good
Bad
fucking
enough to
candy.
Step foot on that grass. Fuck.
So
You ain't
how
stepping
bad
on
do
the
you want it?
motherfucking grass. There'll be a path. Stay off my lawn. Why do we keep trying to get on my lawn?
Listen, there's stones
Hey,
here.
we already
Walk
brought
on the
this up,
stones.
Charles.
Walk
How
on
many,
the
how many
fucking
kids
path.
was it again, Charles, that you thought you could fight off? I can't remember. The
All
exact
of them.
number.
Fucking hell, they're
All
just
of them.
kids.
All of them. We had this
I would
conversation.
I'd get at least 20 waves in before I get tired.
Actually, Paul, I think you were here for this, weren't you?
We had to rename it because the way you guys kept making it sound was not the way
Yeah,
it sounded in my
terrible.
head.
It sounded
What?
terrible.
Fighting kids.
How many kids could you fight off? That's not really
It
what
was
I meant.
fifth
but
graders.
That's a
Fifth
good-
grade
yeah,
humans.
Yeah, it was
Fifth grade size humans.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah, so-
Every once in a while I think about it, I just laugh.
All these little arms just.
Yeah.
Because again, I have a fifth grader,
That'd
and
be
she
funny.
is strong.
and they bite and they
And
fight.
they got
I don't
energy.
get close,
Yeah.
But they got
weirdos.
energy for days.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, how many times when you were a kid? I wish I just had a pinky thimble of your energy.
I'm tired just thinking about it already.
Yeah, no.
Again, I'm tired.
Yeah. There's probably rules and parameters, right? Do I get a
Well,
bat?
we never disclosed any rules. It was just free.
Like, how many
for all,
breaks do I get in
situation.
between fifth graders?
I think the normal 2 to 3 minute break.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes. Yeah, you get enough to catch your breath and
Get a
try
drink
again.
water. Put in some electrolytes.
Probably
some
gotta
Have a
take
Brando.
cigarette if
something.
you're a smoker. Have a
I
little
need a
puff.
bathroom break.
Yeah, a little
I'm
piss.
gonna need a bathroom break in there somewhere because and some tacos.
So they're talking about moving the college football playoff to like a 14 or
14.
16 team. Yeah. But if
Just
they
leave
do
it
that, then the
alone.
Big Ten and the SEC want 4 guaranteed slots.
No, that's just ridiculous, man.
It's
This whole-
not gonna. I don't believe it'll happen. I just don't. I don't think they will do it.
I'm like, you didn't even give this 12-team thing a chance after just 1 year.
Well, no, we're
It's
here
just
early.
terrible.
What we saw this year won't be the same as last year or next year.
I feel like y'all. This
Or
is.
last
Well, I don't
year.
know. I don't know how they're not. It's not going to be that. At some point, these crappy teams are going to get in, and they're going to get blown out.
What do you mean at some point, bro? We already had motherfucking Arizona
yeah.
State,
I'm
and
saying
goddamn
Boise State.
fucking
I'm saying
Boise State.
Oregon
Yeah, but do we really need to add?
SMU.
We need
Oregon.
to add 4 more of those
Well,
shitty teams.
Oregon
in there?
earned their shitty spot.
and got blowed out.
You still,
They were undefeated. They had to get in.
yeah, yeah.
It was no.
you
They were the
can't.
only team that was
You
undefeated.
can't
got
have a, you
Awful.
can't
Still
have a
got the-
half serious conversation and then say,
Still
Oregon.
get their back blowed out.
I
Yeah,
don't
they-
care how that it
I'm
happens.
just messing with you.
That 13-0
Jesus
team
Christ.
still made it. They did beat
I
the
think
national
they need to get rid of the whole
champions, too, yeah.
automatic bid thing. I feel like
I think so. I think.
I
you
think it
should.
just needs to be straight up 1 through 12.
No, you can't. You guys are so funny. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with the conference championships then? Huh? Just get rid of them? You can't do that. A bunch of people be fucking pissed off.
It was basically pointless this year.
No,
to an extent. There was
Clemson only
Yeah.
got in because of
because
one.
they won. Yeah.
Oregon got fucked because they won. No, man, they,
And
they
the
just
seeding
haven't
was
figured.
terrible. Oregon
Yeah,
should have had the easiest
they
path
just-
to the
yeah.
national championship.
They just haven't
definitely-
figured out. Yeah, they haven't figured out how yet. But just having the fucking 12, no,
They
because
are-
I'm gonna go play fucking D3 schools all season and get 13-0 and have numbers out the ass. Like I'm not gonna have any competition at all.
Well, this is what it's going to become. It's going to become what college basketball does for the NCAA tournament. They're going to have a crappy team go against a good team, and it's just going to be the last 4 good teams standing. That's how.
But
it's
they
gonna be.
didn't do
if
that.
they
That was a
no, if
problem.
they keep
Right.
expanding. I'm
Yeah.
not saying right now, but if they
But it's not
expand
what
to 4
college.
more
Hold on,
teams-
hold on a second. The way you said that, I have to interject. It's not just college basketball. That's the way it fucking should be.
Well, no,
if
I'm
I
saying
beat
it's going
ass
to
all
go to that.
season,
I
yeah,
know
if
You
I
it's gonna
should
go
get
to
the
that.
easy route to the
I should
championship.
get an easy
Right.
to the championship if I scored more points and did more shit. But again, you're just
Especially if you're ranked the number 1 team in the country, you shouldn't have this just fucking weird
mean,
schedule.
the fact that we had great games early in the season, and many of those games were better than the playoffs, we're not going to get that ever again. Like you're
No,
dumb
I
if
know.
you're dumb if you're Ohio State and you play anyone other than Michigan, you're dumb.
So let me ask y'all
If you're
this.
Penn State and like kind of the same scenario, if you
Yeah.
play anyone other than like the two big names you have to play in your conference, you're done.
So what changes and additions would you do if it stayed at 12?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm just going to watch it.
Oh yeah,
It
college
can't
football
stay
to me
at
is still
12.
college football, yeah.
It
So would
can't-
you? What would be your max to where you think it would work then,
At 12, I like 12. Keep it at 12.
or would you put it back at 4?
No, keep it
Oh,
at
no.
12. It's fine.
Or do you do the
No,
six
you don't
piece?
go. You don't go less than 12.
You got to keep it. Just keep it at 12. It's fine.
I think
I
we
don't
should
know.
do
I
16
don't.
and
I
no
don't
bye
think
weeks.
12 I
I
don't
think
think.
16 and no bye weeks.
Here's the thing.
No, because you're taking away from the players, and you're taking games away. You just leave it at 12. It's fine.
It can't be at 12.
It's already at 12. What do you mean it can't be at 12?
So what?
No,
so,
hold on. It can't stay at 12.
It's gonna stay at 12.
We'll see.
I don't
like
think
they
they're.
said
I don't think
they said they were going to stay at 4, but
Listen,
they also said they were never going to expand
Here's,
either. And
here's the bottom line. There's not 32 fucking college teams. There's 500. And they all have the same playing field. So if you have 500 people and you keep telling these 500 people that they all have the same playing field, but you only keep letting 6 fucking people in all the fucking time, those other 496 schools are going to be like, yo, fuck you. This isn't worth it.
I don't.
Like, you're not going to get the effort.
This can't turn into a March Madness for football.
Why not?
64 teams?
It's football. There's no way it can physically.
There's only 134 D1 schools.
And that's just that. How many bowl games are you going to do this for? How's
Only
this gonna-
There's
130.
only 134. Yeah, that's
Only
not bad.
134.
Yeah, they're not all on the same playing field. I'm sorry. There's no way that they.
But
they-
see,
they even
so
any-
here's
I don't
where-
care what our eyeballs tell us on paper.
But-
Yes, they.
No,
But this
they're
is the
telling
thing,
them
so-
but
so
that
here's
ain't-
my
it's
issue,
never
though.
gonna-
Here,
it's
I
never
guess-
been that way. It never will be that way.
Here's my rebuttal with the whole it can't work because, in a sense, yes, there's 132. Let's just say there's 132 football teams in college that could play for the playoffs, right? Let's say they make it to 64. In March Madness, there's a good, at least 10 to 15 schools that make it to the bracket that shouldn't be in that bracket because they're gonna get mopped.
Yes.
With.
Yeah, I agree.
But
with
they
you.
still make it because they.
I agree with you. 64 is way too much.
So
But
you
but when you're
already-
looking at the collective group,
Here's the thing. They
and it's
already do
college,
this- They already do this in D3 and D2, and it doesn't work out. The same 2 fucking teams every year end up in the national championship.
but
It's the-
that's not their fault.
No, but it's the product of it. It's this. If it would
How
happen,
is that
the
the
s-
pro? Because
it-
it's
'cause
the
it would be
powerhouse
the same
school.
way in D1 if they did in D1.
But it did happen because Alabama was literally the powerhouse for a better part of 15
Oh,
years.
yes. Had it happened in the past, you gotta. I'm saying that NIL obviously is playing a huge factor in the last couple of years. Huge.
surprise,
Huge.
like
Yeah,
any
trust me.
any one of those 136 fucking schools has an opportunity. So
If they want to spend that cash, yeah, they could.
okay, so even if 20 fucking schools want to spend that cash, bro, you're going to have 8 people who spent a fuckload of money really pissed off. And guess what? Those are the people paying the bills. You're not going to have those fucking people pissed off. This is just how I feel about it personally, right? 136 schools have the same opportunity for 12 fucking spots? No way. I can see it going to 20. I can see it going to
There's got to be
24.
there's got to be a sweet number.
It's just because it's for one, it's not fucking professional sports. So who cares?
But then on the other side of that,
Give the kids the opportunity.
Which bowls
So,
are you
but
putting
it's-
into this bracket? That's the thing. Is there a
it's just-
rotation?
The only
it's
schools
just-
this is going to hurt are like Michigan, or like the Big Ten schools, and the other schools.
I don't
got
think so
more
because here's the
games.
thing: if you're
No, it's
Michigan
gonna
and you're
hurt them
supposed,
because you got to take games away. It's not gonna. I'm not saying it's going to hurt them financially. I'm saying it's.
What do you
going
mean
to
take
hurt
games away?
rivalry games. But,
How?
But at this point, because they're always the last games of the season. What do you?
Bro,
do?
they're already those games are already gone. I don't mean to be the one to tell you this, but like you're dumb if you play those games anymore moving forward. You're dumb. Alabama wasn't in the playoffs this year because they played too many tough teams and lost to the shitty teams,
I
right?
think they are financially obligated all the way through their schedules for the next 10 years. They have to still keep playing each other. Like the schedules for college football are like made out quite a few years ahead of time.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, it is. There's contracts like they go to 2032. That was the whole. That's why Notre Dame and Michigan had to cut it off. Like their contract kept on going, but they both
Okay, so
decided
there's
to-
ways out of it, right?
Well, there's ways out of it, but there's still a
Then
lot of
how?
schools.
Why is that? Then why would that be a roadblock?
Well, not just gonna, every school is not just going to start cutting ties with all the contracts.
We
they
didn't
have.
play
There's-
Penn State this year. Like just boom, magically, they were in a different division now.
No, they played them the year before. It rotates. Their schedule, the Big Ten thing goes, it rotates because next year Wisconsin's got to go play Ohio State. They didn't play them this year. It's just it's just what it is. I get what you're saying. The games really don't matter, and it wouldn't matter if they take away 2 games. Just take away those 2 cupcakes that they fucking play at the beginning of the year. If you want to add the 24.
Again, we're not talking about professional sports here.
No, I get it. But if you're going to add to 24 teams, you're going to add another week onto the playoff schedule. So you got to take a game away because you can't make them keep
Not
playing
in college
more
football.
games.
Not in
So
college football.
I'm listening. Why can't
Wait.
they just keep the schedule where the bowls are at
Why?
as it is?
Why do we have to add more? Because the college bowl fucking week is a month long, bro.
Yeah. So
You
the
just-
bowl games don't change.
the
You're just
playoffs-
picking
But
which
they give
bowls.
them 2 weeks for the national championship, and it would
I
go.
hear
to,
you,
it would
The
but
go to
playoffs
January.
just start a week earlier, bro.
They can't compete with the NFL playoffs. That's why.
I don't think they would be
What does
competing
this have to do
because
with
they're
the
already
NFL
playing.
playoffs?
They're already playing.
Ratings, money, lots of shit has to do with it. There's a lot of stuff.
They're
There's a reason why
already
they don't try to-
playing.
They're playing the bowl
So the
games and the
Pop-Tart
playoffs.
Bowl,
They
the
put 'em
Pop-Tart
during the
Bowl
middle
game
of
is
the
now a
week.
playoff game instead of just a random bowl game.
And it stays on the day that it's supposed
But
to
it
play
stays on the
regardless.
same fucking day that it
The
was.
day
Like,
doesn't change. It just becomes a playoff game now. So you're just picking the bowls that are going to be now playoff games. And every year you're just rotating the bowls if you wanted to.
You'd have to look at the attendance numbers. If they're not making money,
I'm
off
like,
it,
you're
I
going
see
to
why they
pick
would
the bowls
expand.
that make the most sense.
I know. I'm just saying.
we're all
who-
on the same
who
page with that, right?
Who the fuck's gonna want to go see Toledo play Ohio in the fucking like Pop-Tarts
Nobody
Bowl to go in the
cares.
playoffs?
Who cares? People can gamble on that shit.
People gamble on regular season games.
People,
just as much
but
as
this is
they
the
do on
thing.
playoff
As much as, so you're saying Toledo and who?
Ohio.
So nobody wants to watch Toledo, Ohio, but nobody wants to watch Kentucky beat up on Weber State in 16 in March Madness. But you're gonna bet on the game to hope that Weber is gonna beat Kentucky as one of the 16 seeds to be the number 1 seed. You may not watch it, but you're gonna bet on it.
Here's the thing: the NCAA is gonna do whatever the fuck makes them the most amount of money. And if that's add 32 teams, it's gonna be 32 teams. Charles said. If it's 64, it's gonna be 64. At some point, they just play 6 fucking games in the conference, and this is what it'll be.
Why
Why are we taking games away?
Why are we taking games away?
Because I don't think you have to take games away.
You do have to take games away. You
I don't
can't-
think so. Because this is the
Why?
thing.
You
So
can't
here,
have
let me
ties.
make
You
sure
just
that I'm
can't.
understanding what Charles is saying. So maybe I can understand what Pat's saying. So we're saying, hypothetically, we're moving up to 24 teams in the playoffs, right? We're tracking on that part. Everybody's good right there.
Yeah.
So now, instead of 12 bowl games, or technically 11 because the national championship game
Because
is
you
its
can't
own.
make these kids
Hold
play
on.
20 fucking games in a season.
Hold on. You're not taking anything away because they're already going to play the 12 or 13 games, if 10 or 11 games, if they make their conference championship. So they're already playing the 10 to 12 games regular. The only thing that changes is you might play up to 3 to 4 extra games because of the playoffs. That's it, which in theory is going to get you ready for the NFL either way because you're going to
And
have
they're
to play
already
18
doing
weeks.
No. You go to 64, you're playing 6 extra games.
But
Why
but
would you
you're
go to
on- but-
64?
I'm
But
saying
this-
because they're
no.
going to go to whatever number they
But
think they
I'm-
can make the most money.
But
from.
I'm just talking about 24. I'm sticking to just 24 teams. Right now, that would be roughly the same amount of games that you would play in a regular NFL season
You're not
game.
putting 50% of the D1 schools in a fucking playoff bracket.
You're just putting 24 teams. And that's just adding at the most 4, maybe 5 games. Again, most regular seasons, even with their conference championship, you're playing 10 to 12 games. So if you add another 4, that's 16 games in a season for college, which in turn gets you ready for the NFL regardless.
I don't know. I bet you there's something in the NCAA rule books about how many games they can play. There has to be.
They already play
'Cause they would be-
15
they'd be
games
expanding
now.
right now. No,
Bro,
they-
they're not.
12.
You're not adding extra games to the schedule. They're not going to play any more games than they played this fucking year.
That's why I'm saying it. But if you go to 24, you have to add an extra one.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? More teams means more games.
No, they're
You're not. You're just making
Bro, they already
established
fucking
bowl
play.
games into playoff bowl games. That's all you're doing. You're
They
picking.
already play. Where did I lose you? Like the
What are you
Pop-Tart
talking
Bowl,
about?
the Pop-Tart Bowl is a thing.
12 divided by 2, 6. 12 divided by 6 divided by 2, 3. You talk about who's getting, there's going to be bye weeks. Who's getting buys then? 4 teams get buys? And they only play 20, so they play 10 games the first week? Or are all 12 teams playing a game?
What are you talking about?
You keep saying they're not going to play extra games. 24 teams make the playoffs. It's going to be a longer format than if there's 12 teams in it. You cannot.
But you're not having to add games because you're already using the bowl games that already
You're using the games that are already
because
there.
they're already playing mid-December all the way to mid-January as it is before the NFL playoffs even start.
What math are you guys using? You still each week you're still playing a game. What are you talking about?
If you make it.
They're already there, Patrick.
But you're already selecting playoff bowls that will qualify for the bowl games that will need for the playoff games. So you're not adding, you're just converting these regular bowl games out of the 6 that already are there and making them bowl games in playoff bowl games.
But every week the winners had to advance. Is that what math?
Do you not know how many bowl games get played in college?
Yes, but they're one and done in bowl games. They don't keep playing.
There's 80 fucking teams that play bowl games, bro.
The math makes sense.
They play
it's just
one.
Okay, so they played November 26th.
The playoff is
and then they would play again.
Format.
Then they would play again the very next week.
Yes, exactly. Let me explain this to what you don't understand. 64 teams in college basketball make the playoffs. How many games do they have to win the national championship? Not one. They got to win fucking 6.
Okay.
So there's
So how is that not
47
adding
college
more
bowl
fucking
games.
games? I don't know what math are you guys
Patrick, we're already there.
No, 12. If you add 24, you're going to add an extra 2 games. Because you split. That's 6, not 4. It's 4, and then you add 2.
So in your mind, you have to add those 2 games to the end. You can't take them from the games that are already played.
I asked you if we're taking games away, and you said no, you don't have to.
What?
Yes, I said you take the 2 games away at the beginning of the season when they play nobodies. And
there's no games out of the regular season that needs to be taken away.
Then what 2 games are you talking about that they don't need to play?
I'm trying to figure out what 2 fucking games you're talking about.
Because I'm confused.
You've got us both confused.
I don't understand how you
break down your analogy. Break it down for us.
Yeah.
Draw a bracket with 12 teams and draw one with 24. There's going to be an extra game on one of them brackets.
Where do you... Not if it starts a week earlier.
What are you talking about? Not if it starts a week earlier. It's still the same amount of games.
The college bowl game season is from November 1st until January.
And I don't know what math you are using.
Games.
That still doesn't change the number. You're talking about the date. The number of games they play.
So the game Michigan and Alabama played days before the entire fucking schedule, like that would have been a playoff game.
Yeah, I get that.
And then the winner would have moved on.
But you're acting like they're not going to end up playing 18 games in a season.
I don't think
they're
will.
fully playing 15 or 16 right now, depending on if they went to their championship game or not. I'm saying you go to 24, you're going to add an extra 2 games off of the 12-team format because you can't split. There'll be 8 teams left, and there's going to be 4 teams left, and there's going to be 2 teams left. The math just doesn't math out. You have to add that extra game.
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm looking up something real quick. Give me a second.
There's nothing to, yeah. Maybe there's something to look up. I don't.
No, I just want to see something real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty simple in my mind.
So Ohio State played. They were 14-2, so that's 16 games, and they didn't play in the conference championship game. Correct? That was Penn State and Oregon. Correct. So if they would have went to the conference championship,
but that's only
17.
Only with how many teams? 12.
Right.
Add 12 more teams. They're going to be playing more games.
They're playing 16 games now. So you add maybe another game or 2, I think. But it's still, there's no taking away. It's just the bowl games are changing to playoff games. That's it. They're just making the bowls into a playoff bowl game.
Yes, but not every team plays more than one bowl game. That's what you. I guess you guys just don't understand how what's going on here. You can't force these kids to play 18 games. If they're going to do that, college football is just going to become the NFL.
It already is.
No, it's not.
What? I don't know, dude. I'm just confused. There wouldn't be any more. There would be more games on television. But I don't know.
Charles, okay, so I guess technically the team that gets the buys, if they were to continue to win, wouldn't play more. But the team that was like, if the team that was say 15th keeps winning, they wouldn't play in a conference championship game. But if they had to play and win to get into a conference championship, they'd play the 2 seed or 3 seed.
They
and
played
the next
4
week
games.
They play the 6 seed.
They
and
played
the next week.
No matter what, you would only play unless you win. And only one fucking team out of 2 can win, so that doesn't really matter.
And this is the thing. They played 4 games in these playoffs. 4 games, right? So that means they came into the playoffs as 10-2. They played 4 games.
12 teams played 4 games.
So two teams played 4 games.
2 teams out
Played
of the
4
12
games.
So, how would that change?
So, again, at most, you might have to play 2 more games because of the bracket. But, again, it's not adding as far as the schedule
Those
doesn't have
games
to
are
change.
already played. Yeah, those games
those
are
bowl
already
games are already played.
So a bowl game isn't the bowl game per se isn't an invitation anymore.
It's a playoff spot.
It's a playoff spot.
Because Ohio State won 3 bowl games. Two technically. Because the first
but
round
you're
wasn't a
still
bowl game.
Adding games. So I don't know what part of not adding games. If you keep winning, you're adding a game every week.
But that's how it works now.
Yes, but you're saying adding 12 more teams. You're going to add 2 more games if you keep to win in the national championship. I'm just saying at some point you have to you're going to have to take 2 games away.
This isn't the NFL where only 2 teams can play on a fucking Saturday. 12 teams can play on a fucking Saturday. 12 teams could play the first week of December, and then 6 teams can play the fucking second week of December, and then 2 teams can play the third week of December, and then nobody plays until fucking January 1st. What do you mean? Why? Where do they got to add extra weeks?
That is an extra week.
What?
Yes, because you go.
Let me make sure I understand, Pat. So you're saying that right now, last year, they went 14-2. We're just going to stick to Ohio State since they went all the way, right? They went 14-2, right? If we add another 12 teams, you're saying in theory, you're adding possibly 2 more games.
2 extra games because you had 4 more teams.
But what is the issue with that,
it goes to 8. What's the issue? What's the issue? They're not going to do it. They're not going to make kids play that many games. They're 18-year-old kids. They're not going to make.
They just played 16 games. It's the same. It'll be the same number.
So what's the difference between playing 16 or 18 games as an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old in the NFL?
I'm still trying to figure out where the 18 games are coming.
So he's saying. So basically, if I'm understanding you correctly,
if the team that wins the national championship is a 15 seed, they'll end up winning. They'll end up playing extra games.
They'll play an extra
if a
6
team
games.
had to play their way. Not every team, but I'm saying there could potentially be a team.
And you think people would be upset about that, bro? If I had to play an extra game and won a fucking championship, I would not be upset about that.
Well,
the NCAA does not going to say no against that if it brings in more money.
Notre Dame was in a national championship and they felt this way. They felt they had to play the extra game. I don't have any sympathy for them, but yeah. There's always going to be a team that bitches or something.
So literally what you're talking about, Notre Dame did it this year, and it just flew over the radar except for people bitching about it at Notre Dame.
No, it'll happen eventually if you keep
complaining about it.
I
What
let
do you
you
mean,
get
what are
away
they
with
complaining
this.
about?
You ain't adding extra games to the end of it. You're just taking games that are already there.
If you're saying yes, but if they go to if they keep adding more teams, they're going to have to eventually add more games.
But why
would you have more wins on your win?
Why would they go past 24 teams?
More money. They're greedy. Why would they allow billion-dollar TV contracts? Money.
Okay, so I can't have a realistic sports conversation with you if you're going to be a conspiracy theorist about it through half of your knowledge.
24 seems like a sweet number.
Because when you're talking about math, and you're not talking about greed, and you're talking about what's best for the child. But then you're like, I guess it could all happen if you're just like fuck child labor laws.
Can I say something about the whole? Because
No child laws for
this is
18-year-olds.
my issue. So you want to say
We
you're
could- we could-
spitting
we
the
could horse them
whole?
around. Yeah, honestly.
So
I
here's
think
my
they
thing though
will
with the
go
whole
bigger.
child thing. The whole no 18-year-old wants to play 18 games, but you got teams all the way on the West Coast that joined the ACC conference and are having to travel cross country to play a game, but you can't suck it up for 2 extra games.
There's a lot. I tell you.
I'm
one
just
thing
saying,
now.
you can't complain about. I'm not saying you. They
Not
can't
me. No,
complain
I really
about.
could give a shit
They
less.
can't complain about playing 2 extra games, but yet you're willing to travel from from California all the way to play teams all the way on the Atlantic Coast Conference, and you're not even in the same coast. You're in fucking West.
To be honest, all of the new Big Ten teams bitched and complained about their schedule, about having to go
Again,
to
you decided to join the
Wisconsin and
Big
go to
Ten.
Michigan. Yeah,
Well, no, they didn't.
they did. They complained.
And this, no, they did complain. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Well, I'm saying they're a bunch of bitches.
but I'm telling
yeah.
Paul, like the coaches and players didn't choose to.
I'm talking about the schools. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
schools.
the schools aren't complaining. It's
No,
it's
no.
the
So again,
coaches
yeah.
and the players.
Take it up with your school if you got a problem or transfer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Again, when you get to the NFL, you're going to have to do the same type of traveling either way. So you might as well just get used to it.
And the first couple of years, you're making way less money than you were in college. So suck it up.
You took a pay cut. You fucking
Listen, in
first
theory, you
rounder.
did. Some of y'all did.
Again, I don't feel bad for people making 6 figures or making.
And you want to
making
bitch and complain
80,
about how far
90
you got to
fucking
travel?
grand.
At
And
this
you-
point,
like,
I don't feel
give a
bad
fuck,
for
dude.
any of them. They all got paid.
No, you got to play it. You play the same amount of fucking games regardless. If you're a team unluckily lucky enough to make it into the playoffs and then make that magical fucking run, good job. That's sports.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
literally
Go
fucking
with
sports.
If they
Look at the
do-
Little League World Series, bro.
Yeah, they abused the fuck out of them poor kids.
What?
And they don't get nothing.
It's not abuse. Them fucking kids have the time of their life.
Abuse. I've heard there's.
They're
I've heard
enjoying
stories
every
of
day of
children
the-
that
what
had
is
to
it,
have
like 2-3
fucking Tommy
weeks?
John surgery because they pitched every game all the way from the beginning of the season all the way to the end.
Well, here's the thing, Patrick.
I'm not saying it happens all the time, but
We can nitpick all we want.
Right.
Okay. The point is that the foundation's already there. There's already buildings laid on it. This isn't surprising.
no,
Like
it's
you
not.
can't be shocked and throw morality into the conversation when morality left the fucking building in the 50s. Isn't that around the same time the first Little League World Championship was?
Probably. The thing is, I don't think that the NCAA is going to be content with 24 if it succeeds and they have a lot of success for it. The whispers are always going to be 32, and then
But
that 32
that's
goes
a
to
valid
64.
thought, but I think it would be completely asinine.
But right now, I think that
You're
they're
just
gonna
throwing
look at-
teams off the middle of the street now. But why?
No, but there's enough D1 like big time programs that like they probably could get. 20.
Here's the thing, right? Tennessee and SMU would have been a much better game than Tennessee and Ohio State.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Again,
If there's 24 teams, we get games like Tennessee, SMU.
And I'm for that. I'm 100% for that.
Like, why you would go past or even approach 1/3 of your entire product for a fucking championship?
No,
makes
and
no sense.
I also agree with you that a lot of them contracts with these smaller schools like UConn and shit like that are going to get thrown out the window because they can make more money by being on TV against
6 years
Indiana.
ago, 6 years ago, if I told you North Carolina was going to fight for a national fucking championship, you guys would have laughed at me and kicked me in the balls.
I still
Absolutely.
don't think they're going to compete for national championship.
Okay, regardless, you got Bill Belichick and a fuckload of money. They're going to compete for a national
They
championship.
didn't do anything in the offseason.
Well, the season is way still.
Stop
early.
talking about the fucking
they
egg
didn't get any
prices right now,
recruits.
bro. It literally, you got to give it 100 fucking days. All right, come on, dude. Like,
No,
people, I would have been if he sent in my kid too, because I didn't even know if Bill was going to stay or not. Turns
Because he
out
didn't
there
even
was
sign
a-
his contract yet until like maybe a couple weeks ago.
Come on, dude. Again, for to move the conversation forward, had I asked you 6 years ago if North Carolina could compete in football, what would you have told me?
They
6
were
years
but
ago?
They
6 years
were-
ago.
I would have
they
laughed
were
at you.
competing in football, but they cheated with their test scores. They got busted. Do you remember that?
No, I don't, because they were ever competing.
They were a top 12 team at one point, I think.
In a 4 playoff system, that's not competing.
Yeah, it was. I might have been the 2 playoff system back then, but yeah,
That's not competing.
yeah.
I mean, for
And it
me and
happened
my
now?
conversation,
Well,
right?
but
6 years
technically
ago, no.
But technically, everybody's competing now with the NIL. So
Competing, but the NIL deal, when did that start?
2 years ago.
2
I
years
think.
ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago, they couldn't hold a loaf of bread, let alone make a playoff run.
It was a
Well, I
basketball
mean,
school. It was a basketball school. I don't care what anybody's
Well,
saying right now. It's a fucking
you
basketball
tell
Just
school.
like
basketball
Kentucky
school to
and
Mr.
Kansas.
Trubisky down here. Yeah, basketball school.
Nobody
huh?
wanted
Yeah.
that fool.
You're trying to pull out Mitch Trubisky and not say it's a basketball school.
Oh,
bro.
no.
No, I
That
was
was
making fun of the Bears.
Oh,
man.
I was
wasn't
like,
trying
bro,
to knock you.
please.
I was hoping you were going to bring this up.
now. If you ask me 6
I was
years
making
from
a
now,
joke and Charles
if you
was like,
ask me
"Fuck that
6 years from
basketball
now,
school."
will they make a playoff
Yeah,
run
probably.
and possibly? Yeah, I could definitely see that now.
I'd see it in 2 years.
I would
No, I'm
love
just
to
saying.
see
I'm
the
saying
freaking
if we have this
Tar
conversation
Heels.
6 years from now,
Yeah.
Keep
Hold on
firing.
now.
Let
Hold
me
on
beat
now a
him.
second. You mean to tell me that Deion fucking Sanders is going to be better than Bill Belichick?
I think they're going to do
no.
the exact
The-
same thing.
Okay, so then stop it with this whole Bill Belichick isn't going to compete in college.
If they make it next year.
And
Because
he's not
because
going to be
this
doing
year-
the recruiting.
because
He's going
this-
to have a team do that for him.
Deion Sanders looks like he's going to have Colorado in the top 10 this year. And this is something we all said on the show, talk to me in 3 years.
Yeah. Here, can I paint a picture for you?
And it's the
Okay.
Big 12.
This is something pretty cool that I think that all 3 of us would like to see. Could you imagine a Kansas versus North Carolina college football playoff game? That no, it would actually be.
That
Kansas
would be,
has been-
it wouldn't be like Alabama and somebody,
Auburn.
or
No,
Georgia
but-
and somebody,
no, but
or
you would-
Michigan and somebody. So yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
just because they've got rivalry. There's bad blood there. They hate each
Basketball
other.
wise, there is.
No,
I think it would be cool to see Kansas versus UCLA in a fucking
UCLA,
national
USC.
championship. I
Yeah.
just think like,
Just to break the norm.
just because it's the possibility of difference, but you're not going to have that if you compress the bitch into a fucking pea pod. Because I'm not going to spend my money for fucking 12 spots. You're not. That's what the NL got us. Bro, we got Tennessee, Ohio this year. Tennessee had to go to Ohio, got their fucking ass kicked.
Yeah, they spent the 3rd most money too in NIL.
Who?
No, Tennessee did.
Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, they really got their ass handed to them for that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
National
welcome-
TV.
Like you said, did they not look back in that and go,
Welcome to
man,
the
I don't know if
cold.
That was really worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the cold. But of course it was worth it though, bro. Are you kidding me? The fucking coverage Tennessee got that week leading
I
up
heard,
to it?
I heard
Oh my god.
Didn't their fans do something that never happened in Ohio Stadium? They bought more tickets than the Ohio State fans did. There was
No, but there was way more there than a non-Michigan team usually has.
oh no, this was a Notre Dame basketball game. They played Louisville, and Louisville invaded their stadium. There was like 80% Louisville fans
Okay.
versus 20.
Guys, like, bro, it's as much shit as I talk about Ohio State. You ain't out buying that fucking stadium. Like,
No, but Michigan did a pretty
got-
good job. Michigan did a pretty good job when they played each other on a neutral field
Yeah.
in a basketball game one time. Not football. Not a football game, but a basketball game once, I think.
and you're talking about a neutral goddamn field. The whole conversation was Tennessee going to Ohio State.
But yeah, but college football. And that's the other thing. How come with the college football games, how come it's not 50-50?
What do you mean?
Because technically, are they ever going to have neutral field? Or is it always
Even
gonna
with
be
a neutral field, what are you talking about?
No, like
They do have neutral fields.
No, is it? Yes, I get that. But is it all? Do you think it's always going to be the home field? The team's going to get the home field advantage for the playoff games?
I'm like, it depends where the bowl is at and who's playing in those bowls. It definitely could play.
No, the first
I
game is
don't-
always going to be at home. But are they?
Right.
You think moving forward, if they keep adding more, they will get rid of a couple bowl games?
They're
and let
not
them-
going to add more to the end of this schedule. They can't.
No, I'm saying like they'll have bowl games still, obviously, but they're going to have the playoff games. If
Right.
they expand it, you think they'll add an extra home game? Like the first 2 weeks will be home games.
Maybe
Yeah,
in those playoff sense,
Yeah.
but it's still going to be the fucking. It's still going to be. It's still going to be.
I
a
can
fucking,
still
like,
think the
pot-
first
like,
round.
Like even if God
No,
dang,
I know it's Harvard's
Harvard's playing at
I
home,
would
like
love
it's
to
still
have
the
2 home
Pop-Tart
games,
Bowl.
2 extra
Yeah,
home
it's-
games is all I'm saying.
yeah.
I can give you.
Yeah.
I can give you how they did it this year with
The first
the
round
home
was a
team was
game.
at the college home team. I'll
Yes.
give you that. But I think the second round and on, like just even if they add the extra 12
But there's
teams,
really not that many.
that
cool
second round and
bowl
on, I think it's still going to be bowl games. Because again,
Listen,
remember,
we don't know. Hold on a second. And I don't mean to say this in this lime of light, but we don't know shit about bowl games. We just know what we fucking see on TV.
yes.
That's why we're going to do our bowl game adventure, because these games might be fucking sweet to be at, right? Think of it like NASCAR. That's exactly how I'm looking at it. NASCAR is terrible to watch on TV, but when you go to a race, it is out of this fucking world.
We
Yeah,
can say
but
that about a lot of
they're
sports
sold
live
out.
though too.
These aren't sold out, so I can
Some
imagine.
sports live.
I can
are-
imagine some of these bowl games are probably pretty bad. Not all.
But
of
it's
them.
also the
But you turn it
atmosphere,
into
though.
a playoff game.
Yeah.
It immediately
Oh,
is not bad.
No, I'm not saying a playoff game. I'm just saying like I'm saying like
You are a negative Nancy sometimes.
like the tax slayer bowl or something.
I still think that a bowl game, even if it's not as popular,
I love the bowl
They
games.
had a
But I
bowl-
feel like a
oh,
bowl
They
game-
had a bowl game this past season that had 312 people in the stands. Probably most of
and
them.
I'm
were the
pretty
parents of
sure
the
them
kids.
tickets was cheap as shit, and I
Probably.
would still go for the
if I
fucking
lived-
entertainment.
yeah, I'm not going to buy a fucking plane ticket to go to that game, but you bet your ass I would go if it was close.
I'm
It's
not
like
saying- I'm
30
not saying
minutes away
travel
from
there.
my house, and the tickets were $40.
Hey,
I'm gonna take
hey.
that
And you
30
know
minute
how
drive.
much that meant to the parents and kids sitting in those fucking
I'm
stands.
gonna
seeing
go
that-
watch that.
Fucking A, man. I don't know, dude. I'm on a different boat than you here. No, and now it's a playoff game. It's not just a bowl game. It's a playoff
It's gonna
bowl
have
game.
coverage like it's never had before.
Yeah, I'm not. I think we're getting confused here. I just said a regular bowl game. You guys are talking about
Even if
playoff
it's a
game.
regular bowl
No,
game,
a
if the
playoff game, I'm fucking going and I'm
this is the
hooting and
thing.
hollering
Even if
and
it
I'm being
wasn't a
obnoxious.
playoff bowl game, even if it wasn't a playoff bowl game, and I'm in Dallas. Let's say I'm in Dallas, and it's a bowl game that's on the other side of Dallas in Fort Worth, and it's 30 minutes to 45 minutes away, and the tickets are between $40 to $60.
Oh, they're gonna be
Guess who's going?
$12.
This guy.
If the men's Green Bay basketball team ever makes it to a fucking playoff game, like
That's not gonna
at the Resch Center,
I'm
again, that's
going.
why I said if it ever happens,
Just
I'm fucking going to
ungodly.
that too, bro. Like
Shut
it's a
up.
playoff game inside
an
30 fucking
experience.
minutes.
Well,
right?
Milwaukee, hey,
Dude, I went to the Timber Rattlers baseball playoff game. Just,
dude,
if I lived in Michigan, I wouldn't have done that. But
Hey,
I'm not driving fucking
No.
3 hours to catch that game.
the NCAA tournament's going to be in Milwaukee down at the.
That's 93 minutes away. That sounds like a pretty good fucking job. Bro, stop. Sometimes you fall and you're like, fucking, I'm falling. I'm going. Stop it.
I'm like, if they had
Free
a
fall.
regional,
Well, you
if
just
they had
said
a
if
first
team's
round or
gonna,
second
Marquette's going to be there, Wisconsin might be there. Hell, Michigan might.
I
even
would
be
go.
In that
If the
bracket.
tickets were good enough, I would go.
Dude, they're bringing a professional women's soccer team to Wisconsin.
What the MLS?
Yes.
Where?
Women's soccer team. Or was that rugby?
I can't remember what it was. I thought it was soccer for some reason.
Well,
I
was
know when
Madison,
Austin.
right? I
I
thought
know
it was
when
Madison.
Austin added
Yes.
a soccer
Yeah.
team down here a few years back. The whole city just erupted. Like the Austin Football Club down here, part of the MLS.
I believe Milwaukee had a semi-pro soccer team, almost an MLS-esque team back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s in Milwaukee, but I can't remember.
I'm always
Who they
down
were.
for some good live entertainment when it comes to sports. Always, especially if
The
it's close.
hockey, Wisconsin's got some good.
we go to watch
minor league
football
hockey.
players play softball just
Yeah.
because it's a sporting event. Sometimes, bro, we're a sportscast and we don't make millions yet, but people in sports make millions and billions, and that's just what it is. It's not shocking.
And I
Right?
think
Like when decisions get made for the basis of money, like they're not doing some unholy fucking thing for the very first time. Like that happens all the time. Like we don't have to actually shine a flashlight on it because it is the fucking sun in the room. Like it's the only thing illuminating the entirety of the room.
I think even on top of that with the bowl games, it's just to say for me, and I'm going to speak for me.
Yeah, that's just me.
For me, I think just saying that I got to go to the Tax Slayer Bowl. I have that. I have that ticket. I have that experience. I have that core memory. Regardless if the game was good or not. The fact that I get to check this off my list, especially if we're trying to go to at least one bowl game every fucking year.
Go to the Cowboys game.
Patrick is literally talking to two back-to-back fantasy football champs who act like we won an Emmy. right? Like,
You do.
so,
Yeah, you guys are over here.
so again, maybe we're not the best people to have this conversation with, Patrick, because I'm telling you, if
I'm gonna
I'm
have a
going to a
blast.
fucking bowl game, that's awesome. I don't give a fuck if there was 2 people there or 2,000 fucking people.
Guaranteed, I'm gonna drink me some beer.
I was, motherfucker.
I'm gonna drink me some beer, some nachos, some hot dogs, and have a fucking blast.
Are you gonna drink
My
beer?
trophies
You
and
just drink
rings
beer at
are
these things.
constantly in the picture, bro. Of course, the little fucking things matter. That's life, dude.
Tell Paul, when I handed Charles this trophy, I did it in a very unique way. I handed it to him, and it looked like a penis.
Straight up.
Charles goes, "Yeah, that looks weird. That looks like a dick."
It didn't matter. It was awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
didn't
saying.
matter.
Like, it's
Yours,
fucking-
though.
It's got my name on it and everything. So fuck you and your bowl theory.
I'm going.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
why,
it's just a
literally,
beer.
bro. You're the way you talk about these bowl games is why I thought to myself, "Wow, my fucking headset's way off today." But anyways, it's why I thought to myself, "Man, we should go to these bowl games and see what it's like." It could be a terrible experience,
No,
but
well,
some of
one of-
these bowl games is going to be like $400 the whole fucking trip.
One of
Who
the
cares?
issues
fine
is
with-
they can't have them around Christmas because that's like a big deal. Like they have too many
Why
of them around
not?
between the 16th of December. I looked a lot of them up, man. That one that we want to go to, the Armed Forces Bowl, it's the day after Christmas, like the 26th. Like, why? Come on, man. Move it back a couple days. or
Listen,
something.
We don't
Hey,
have to go to that
I
bowl
ain't gonna-
specifically.
No,
though.
No, I'm going to that
That
bowl.
one though. That's the one we want to go to. It's by your house, man.
I'm like,
We gotta make it to that one.
Here's
That's gonna happen.
Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. You're talking to 2 people who willingly signed up to move away from their house for years,
and get shot at.
miss Christmases and all that shit. I don't give a fuck about Christmas
You know what
or
I mean?
fucking Thanksgiving.
In my
or-
first 2 years in
You-
the military,
you
I
got
missed.
fucking FaceTime now, dude. FaceTime the motherfucker. I'm gonna buy you a gift when I get. I'm gonna have you something special when I get home. Who fucking cares?
This was what I missed my first 2 years. 2 Christmases in a row, 2 Thanksgivings in a row, my birthday twice, everybody's birthday twice. I didn't see anybody for 2 straight years.
The one Thanksgiving I came home to, bro, somebody was pissed that it was at this person's house and not the other person's house. And I'm like, I haven't seen you fuckers in 3 years. Fuck you, I ain't coming back. Dude, are
I'm
you
going to
kidding?
that bowl game.
Bro, do you know how awesome it is to travel on Christmas? To be a tourist on Christmas? For one, everyone feels sorry for you, so you get all this extra shit. Fuck you, I'm having the time of my life.
And we're veterans. Imagine the discounts we would get.
Dude.
Well,
Bro,
that bowl game, you probably
stores
would
are
get in for
empty.
fucking free.
what
We
bowl
got,
game?
I
Armed
got
Forces Bowl.
vet ticks.
I don't even think you need it for that. I think you just literally just
Listen,
show up.
there's a will, there's a way. We'll find a way to get a
I
$20
always
ticket.
buy a t-shirt, and now that I'm
Of
married,
course.
I buy 2 t-shirts.
Man,
Oh,
you
yeah, I
get
gotta
to-
get
and
something
Paul's
for the
gonna
wife
take you
and
to
the
the
kids.
Something for the
we're gonna
wife.
have it's gonna be a fucking party.
And
So-
you don't gotta stay nowhere. You don't gotta pay to stay. You stay in my house.
No, it's not.
And people watch our dumbass show.
That's true.
So imagine if we get to go to the next show saying that we went to a bowl game and talk about that for 30, 45 minutes.
Not everything can be the fucking goddamn Grey's Anatomy, bro, or NCIS, right? There are shows that only make it a few years, or there are things that there has to be the fucking Pop-Tart Bowl. They all can't be the Orange Bowl. Look
Hey,
at, dude,
hey,
the Pop-Tart Bowl was
Bowl's even
terrible,
better.
and then all of a sudden they fucking put this fake dude down a fake fucking toaster, popped out a 12-foot fucking
And-
Pop-Tart, and
and
now
the
everyone talks
trophy-
about it.
The trophy pops out of Pop
Marketing
Tart.
like a motherfucker.
Okay,
The
so if you
trophy has a Pop-Tart in
exactly.
it.
Pop Tart Bowl has probably made the biggest impact on anybody.
Exactly. So if you want to, you know what, Patrick, if you want to start being pissed off at people, be pissed off at the marketing people of these bowl games because they fucking suck at their job.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl, where they dumped the mayonnaise on top of the guy.
I'm like, the marketing on these can be way fucking better. That's what it's got. That's what it comes down to.
I
You got a
have
billion-dollar
always
company.
I've always wondered, and it comes with this and namings of like team names. You guys get paid a shit ton of money, and this is the product that you put out for us to see.
Great topic, though, man. You got me just heated over here.
We're still going to that bowl game, damn it.
We're going to all of them. Yeah, that is not a question. And wait till we go.
Start with the Tease Bowl.
Wait till we
Wait-
get to
wait-
go to a national championship.
Wait till we get
game.
to be around Denver. I got a buddy in Denver who he's like a 5-star fucking chef now, and oh my god, I can't wait.
He doesn't make
the
like
food.
those small little plates.
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
Fuck.
But it's gonna be great as shit.
We can just go to Colorado Springs and go to a football game at an Air Force game.
Oh, I want to go to a Deion game. How do you not want to go to a fucking Deion game?
That
dude?
would be
I
so
don't-
dope.
I'm not-
I know you didn't say that. I'm just like, how would you?
Hey,
how can you not want to go to a Deion game?
Was I not the biggest Deion hater this podcast has ever seen? Like, I was an asshole.
I didn't know we were realistic the first 2 years. We said get off the dick train for the first couple of years. They're going to be a terrible football
true.
team. You
That's
got to give
true.
them
We did.
time.
They have progressively gotten better, but now the true test comes. Now you don't got your kid back there.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a pretty good fucking recruiting class coming in too.
Yeah,
Right.
but
But you're also in the Big 12.
for kids wanting to come to play for him. That's for sure.
He's not dumb.
Like Charles said, you give him the 100-day test when players are going to start flocking. And I think it's the transfer portal for Bill Belichick is what's really going to kick off everything.
Yeah. My favorite part about all of this, and not to side off of that, but my favorite part of all of this is like how everyone thought that the Florida State job was better than the Colorado job. The ACC is looked at like a power, like they're supposed to be the Big 10 or the SEC, and the Big 12 is just the Big 12. They're like, yeah, no, it's the Big 12.
At least the ACC has won national championships in the last 20 years, though.
We haven't. We've been to them.
No, Florida State ACC has won national championships.
They've won one in the last. The last time they won one was Jameis Winston, and that was, I think, almost over a decade ago.
Wasn't Clemson in the ACC?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they won 2, right? Is it 2? Yeah. Or is it 1? I want to say 2.
Yeah, they won 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2018.
Regardless, the ACC is not the Big 10 or the SEC. But you get scrutinized like you're in the Big 10 or the SEC. When you're in the Big 12, if you do bad, it's just the Big 12. If you do good, it's just the Big 12.
Yeah, prime example, Baylor.
So no matter what, you're in a much better boat.
The measuring stick
Colorado.
The measuring stick for the Big 12 is you're in the Big 12.
Especially if you're somebody like Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick too. Why would you go to a big school where you're expected to win? North Carolina is perfect, right?
The pressure's not huge, and I'm like, what you're getting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm intrigued.
I think the first year nobody's going to expect anything, but eventually, if he starts to get success, they're going to be like,
anyone with an analytical brain should. Yes, yeah. I mean, we're not taught this. Isn't going to be a fucking Rudy story.
Like I said,
he's not just going to hold clean sweep and just go undefeated all season.
I was a betting man. I would listen to this guy up here in the future. Put a futures out there for Bill Belichick to make a college.
If makes a bet that Bill Belichick is going to go undefeated season 1. Listen.
Hey, Charles and I looked at the schedule, Paul.
I'm talking about playoffs included. I'm talking about playoff included.
No. Yeah,
I'm talking about undefeated all the way through.
And here's the kicker. Some of us need to get off our persnickety ass fucking pedestals here, right? Like and I'm not saying anyone on this show, but I'm just saying like in general, making the playoffs is fucking awesome. Especially when you consider out of 136 teams, only one is going to host the trophy. Out of 32 teams, only one's going to host the trophy. Out of fucking 20 some odd teams, only one's going to host the trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like just making it to the spot where you can be in the conversation is a very good fucking thing. Which is one of my biggest problems with Detroit right now, because you guys act like you've already been here and you haven't even been here yet. Like
they were happy. They were happy just to be there again.
So
speaking of which,
I told myself I was going to start talking nicer about the Lions.
Speaking of which, I told you and Paul to bring me your best and worst. So speaking of NFL, do you have that off the top of your head there, Paul?
What was the rules again?
I just want you give me your best take. Who was your MVP this season and who was your stinker?
As far as on the Bears or overall?
No, just overall NFL. Who's the worst fucking player in the NFL for you this year? Most disappointing player?
I think the most disappointing player for me.
I've got my most disappointing player.
Go ahead. Let me think.
Debo fucking Samuel.
Yeah.
I think I might have to agree with you on that. That crashed hard. And not just for fantasy purposes, just in general. he was trash this year.
That's what I said. Devo and Samuel was
I
my
get
terrible player. I know. I can also tell you guys who was
Travis
the most
Kelce probably could be right there on pace with him.
I did 11 years in the NFL. If
I'm
you
just
expect-
saying.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah. But I think where a lot of people got super upset were people with money who bet for CJ Stroud to be an MVP. Like,
I'm like,
stop listening to these fools.
I would.
What are you doing?
I would say that probably would have been a stupid mistake to make. I wouldn't say that he had the most.
No, I'm not talking about CJ Stroud.
I,
I'm talking about the people who bet for CJ
yeah,
Stroud.
you need to get checked out.
You need to
mentally.
get you need to get your fucking head checked. Just like
If
the
it
people who
wasn't-
are calling Jaden Daniels elite. Shut the fuck up. Jesus, act like
Um,
you've been here before.
I think Devo probably takes the cake because I'm trying to think who just crashed expectations. I can't put CMC in that box because he was injured most of the season. So I'm like, he played what, maybe 4 games total? Maybe
And
5?
all the people who played like shit, if I'm being honest, because I sat here and thought about it for a while, all the people to me that played like shit, I expected them to play like shit. Just because somebody else runs up a fucking unicorn's ass and goes, oh my God, there's rainbows up here. It doesn't mean I'm going to go head first looking.
And as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, statistically, he didn't have the worst season.
Yes, he did.
Not as bad as Debo.
Yes, he did. Mine was the worst. I brought receipts for this too.
All right.
All right. So Aaron Rodgers, one of only 3 quarterbacks in the entire NFL to have.
I'm going to enjoy everything you say.
PAA, which is number of points that you cost your team's offense to allow another team's defense to score against you. Talk about receipts. Check this out. Minus 6.3. He cost his fucking team 6.3 points per game because of his play on the field.
So he's over here shaving points.
They won more games with Zach Wilson.
Yes.
That's terrible. And he's not even on the team anymore.
But
and you lost a contract that you literally were almost guaranteed to keep just based off of your character and the person that you are and your name alone, and you're a fucking Hall of Famer. And they literally just booted you out of New York. You got the coach fired. You got the GM to tell you to go fuck yourself. And
the new coach don't want to do nothing with you.
The highlight of your whole career in New York is running out with the flag after you tried to be comeback player of the year.
And you got your buddy to come play with you.
I'm not saying he literally was the shittiest player, but he definitely played the part. So, I mean,
I will never turn down Aaron Rodgers slander.
So Paul can't, but I'll have to on this one
because he did lose his job too.
I did think
he's unemployed.
I did think about Aaron Rodgers, and I did think about all of this. But in fact, if you expected anything from that 40-year-old man, you're on the same fucking drugs as the people who put their money on.
I didn't expect him to lose his job and play that poor.
Oh, the moment the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator went to the Jets,
it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. Do you have any idea how many nightmares Aaron Rodgers caused? Fucking that
Aaron Glenn don't want none of that shit.
Hell no. But also Aaron Glenn is actually a smart fucking person. And you're not gonna get anything out of a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers because guess what? He was there the last couple of years of Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay, and anyone with eyeballs can see what was happening with the Jets. Like, why would you keep that dude? I have heard that probably the Steelers, but again, anybody
Raiders, I hear a lot of
anybody who expected anything from a 41-year-old fucking drug addict is
he gave me everything I thought he was going to give.
It was, in fact, exactly what I thought. It was going to be a terrible shit show. Now, all that needs to happen is he needs to go to Minnesota. That's all.
Why does everybody want him to go to Minnesota for?
He's not. They already shut that down immediately.
Because Brett Favre went to Minnesota.
Leave that
they're
fucking
perfectly fine at quarterback.
No.
They don't need to have a quarterback.
Yeah, no, I want send him.
Even Aaron Jones didn't even want to stay in Minnesota. He's not going to Minnesota.
Hey, I don't give a fuck.
Isn't that
Just
crazy
visit.
that Aaron Jones he bailed on them just like he did Green Bay?
Bro.
I love it.
Do you know who played in every football game this year? Be it he did get pulled from one, but could have played if needed. Jacobs.
Yeah.
We ain't seen that in a minute.
No,
from a running back in Green Bay.
Actually, the last
and got
one,
good
Ryan
good
Grant
play out.
It was the last one that I can.
Great play out of this kid, and I love that he speaks his mind too. Guess what? Y'all need to get off your persnickety ass fucking pedestals. Okay, because if Josh Jacobs, a dog, goes on and says, "Hey, we need that guy. We need that guy in the wide receiving room,"
Yeah,
right?
they better better either draft a number one receiver or go pay for one because that's what they're saying. And you're
When's
pissed
the
off the
last time
rest
y'all
of the
drafted a receiver in the
I
first
don't, hold
round?
on, but here's the kicker. Hold on a
You
second.
need one.
If you got your feelings fucking hurt because Jacob said that, maybe play harder.
Yeah, but you're not just going to be. You can't become a player that you're not. It's just not going to
Okay,
happen.
then why are you pissed?
If you
Well,
were never going to be that
they're
guy,
pissed 'cause
then you're not.
they're pissed 'cause they
If
didn't
you
wanna
were
get
never going
called
to
out.
be that guy,
No,
you
they
don't need
weren't
to
gonna
be
be
in
that
that
guy.
conversation then.
Why are you going to be pissed?
Well, here-
Why did you? And I listened to both of his conversations. He
lead
did
the league
not
in
go.
drops.
He did not go. What?
Green Bay led the league in drops. So
Yes.
it wasn't Jordan Love's fault.
No, there's a whole bunch of statistics that show
Yeah.
what Jacobs is saying. Okay, but here's
Yeah.
the kicker, right? Like, I don't go on the internet and read something and go, "Oh my God, that random person's talking about me." Or, oh, here, even better, I don't go on the internet and see somebody I know and read it and go, "Oh my God, that person's talking about me."
No, but when
But
it's
now,
the
if
captain of the football team, you do.
but now what? Now, if somebody come out and was like, "Yo, that bald-headed fuck pissed me off," I can I could assume it was me because earlier that day I pissed him off. Like, I can assume it was me. So then I could go online and be upset, right? Because he's right. But why are you being a bitch about it? That's how I took the wide receivers listening to Josh Jacobs and all of them just being a big bitch about it. Like, I love our team. I love our wide receivers. But if you're going to bitch out like that because you were called out for giving 90% when you should be giving 110%, I've got no fucking problem with that. None. That's a leader. And that's what the locker room needed. We have enough of the "come here, I got your face" people in that locker room. Everybody in that locker room will hug you, pick you up, give you $20 for gas if you need it. But a winning locker room needs somebody to call someone out on their shit. Reggie White
You
did
got to
it.
have that one or two people in that locker room that are able to hold people to the fire and shit like that, and not just players, but the staff and stuff like that. Hey,
Yeah, we don't have that on the staff, but
you know, and that's what I'm saying. But you can have
we
a
may
player
have
that
just
can.
we may have just gotten it in Josh Jacobs though,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. But you can
No,
have
the
that player
staff.
that. But I'm saying you can
yeah.
have a player that could probably
Light
be
a
like
fire under the staff.
one of the staff. Be
Yeah.
like whether
Yeah,
it's
bro, you got Josh Jacobs. All people talked about all year. 6, 7 names. Josh Jacobs was one of them. You got that face going out telling you, "Hey, we need a guy." Right? Aaron Rodgers never said anything. Aaron Rodgers just assumed you knew what you were supposed to give
the
me.
only time he opened his mouth is when it was contract time.
But Josh Jacobs is coming in and he's answering.
He wants to win. He
He's-
wants to win.
He's giving you an honest answer. I'm not going to be upset about that. And I know I'm fighting it hard, and there's a lot on the other side that can be argued for, against, and I would have nothing to say, and I agree. But again, personally, I love what he did.
We'll see. We as Packer fans have the luxury of having about 3 or 4 years to watch this develop than to have to sit here and go, "Wow, this is our time. This is our year." We don't have that. We've got time to develop and a quarterback that's ready and willing to do that. I love that, Charles. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. I hope that it lit a fire under their asses, but I still would like to see them go out and
that's what PR was just saying. Hopefully, this lit a fire under the staff's ass, and
Because they're seeing one of your superstar players talking about, hey, we're good,
okay,
but we need one
my
more
only
person.
knock on
if we don't
LaFleur-
have it in the building, we
Yeah.
need to find it.
That's my only knock on LaFleur. He's more of a friend than he is a coach, a leader. He's a great coach, but it just seems like he lacks that. He lacks that. fire under
Maybe
his
Jacobs
ass.
can pick up the slack that he's not having, and the
he-
front office can be like, Jacobs. I'm like, Jacobs just gave you one of the best running back years that y'all have had in I don't know how long. And
Right.
consistent.
Well, and the player he is, he's going to continue to do this, if not get better.
I just think Matt's smart, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really do. I think you got I think you got a young group of kids, and maybe we know they ain't like us, right?
There's a reason why they all got dollar signs next to their name, and we're sitting here. So,
no, I know. I'm talking about mentality wise.
Oh,
I'm
mentality,
in
yeah.
the sense of you can scream at me, and like after the first couple of words, I know I fucked up. I'm just not listening to you. Like, you need to get some steam off. I get it. That's cool. Whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
you
only
can't
so
do
many
that. You can't do
coaches in
that
the
today.
NFL, like Andy Reid, and that.
Well, and Andy Reid ain't gonna holler at you. He's gonna hug you.
He's just gonna
he's
take
gonna
minutes
hand you
off
some
you.
nuggies, right?
Yeah,
That's the ones, the nuggies.
yeah. But again, you're not wrong, right? Because Matt probably isn't the coach who goes in there and throws the fucking keyboard
Playbook at
against the
everybody,
wall.
yeah.
And but
He
I
doesn't
don't
need
think those
he
kids
doesn't
don't
need to be the
exist anymore.
loudest voice in the room, and you've said this many times. It's just his presence alone should. The fact that he's won how many games in his short-lived career as a head coach it speaks volumes. Obviously, the guy knows how to win, and you listen to a guy like that. Um,
It
yeah.
just that those kids don't exist anymore.
No,
The people that are there today, and you even hear it on some of Kelly Stafford's podcast and shit, right? Matt gets out of practice, goes to the locker room, and everyone but Cooper Kupp's on their phone. So it's him and Cuppy chatting away.
here's the thing: what's the price tag on him? If you're Green Bay, would you go all in on him?
No,
You don't think so? That's
No.
a Super Bowl winning player,
And MVP.
MVP. I think the price
Listen-
tag is going to be
listen,
decent.
Listen to me. You didn't ask me if I wanted him.
You're
You
saying
said,
I'm not going all in.
would you go all in for an aging Cooper Kupp? And no,
He's
I
not
wouldn't.
really aging. He's younger than Devontae. I think he's 30, 31.
Also injury prone.
Okay, let me
He's still
rephrase
got 3 or
this.
4 good
Let
years
me-
left in him.
Let me rephrase this. I'm not going all in on a wide receiver over the age of 30 when I have this second youngest team. Or, well, around the youngest team. I'm just assuming it's second youngest now. They might still be the youngest. I don't know. That's not somebody you like. Would I bring him in on a veteran contract for a veteran presence? Hell yes. Would I bring him in for a security blanket for Jordan Love in the slot? Hell yes.
Well, I'm saying they've got the money. If it's not draft picks and it's just strictly a 1-year, a 2-year deal, and they just give him $20 million a year,
I'm going after T. Higgins.
You don't think he's worth it?
I'd rather have T. Higgins over Coop.
If I'm going to pay $20 million for 1 year for a wide receiver, I'd rather have T. Higgins than Cooper Kupp.
Well, you think T. Higgins is more reliable than Cooper Kupp?
I think T. Higgins is a number 1 wide receiver. So yes, statistically, we are not talking about what they have done in their career. We're talking about going into next season.
I would probably go Higgins over Kupp at this point in their careers. If I'm dropping $15-20 million a year on a receiver, I'm gonna go Higgins. I'm giving Cooper, if let's say Higgins is off the table and I'm going after Coop, $10 million at most.
Cooper doesn't want to leave California.
I'm just saying, if I'm gonna, the most I'm offering
well, rumors
is
is
10.
Harbaugh is gonna hit him up,
And
hard,
I can
too.
see him crossing over.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kupp is going to. I think Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams will be with the Chargers next year.
You think both?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a wide receiver change, eh?
For Justin Herbert, yeah. Why do you think I? Why do you
That would
think
be
I intend
3
on
months.
drafting? I intend on
it.
drafting Herbert.
Thanks a lot, Charles. You just gave us. You just gave.
But
him
that
one
he'll
of your
have 3
opinions.
receivers
I
that he
did.
can count
I
on.
did,
Kupp,
but that's how serious I am about it.
I understand.
If you get Adams, Conklin, and Kupp on the same team,
I believe your offense completely changes the dynamics with that quarterback with Herbert and his arm. I mean, and Herbert's
That
actually
defense
has
was
legs.
good last year.
Is Herbert a
regardless.
poor man's Josh Allen?
No, I think he's going to be Josh Allen 2.0.
You think he's Josh Allen 2.0? I mean, he's young.
Josh Allen is MVP Josh Allen today because he was trash panda Josh Allen for the last 3 years. Right? Everyone loves them fucking pandas. They're so cute.
Right.
Everyone loves them fucking pandas. But every once in a while, they fucking eat their baby. And
So
that's weird.
What is the asking price for T. Higgins then, do you believe?
I don't even want
his draft capital and probably 18-20 million.
I don't know if there's an asking price.
I'm just
no,
saying.
isn't his contract year. If he doesn't sign with Kansas City, he's signing with somebody else. It's not a trade thing.
Yeah, they're not going to franchise tag him, or they already did.
I think they're going to let him walk.
I think they did it last year. I think he's
don't-
already been tagged.
Yeah, I highly doubt you're franchising T. Higgins regardless. Like, you're not going to franchise T. Higgins when you have, I guess, it's a terribly ran organization, but
Well, I'm just saying they're trying to hold on as long as they possibly.
they still, did they pay Jefferson or did they pay Chase?
Yeah, they paid him because I think he.
I don't think they paid Chase yet.
Maybe.
I don't think they offered him a contract yet. And you're going to offer him over Higgins before you pay Higgins. You're going to pay Chase first.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about, if Cincinnati was going to get anything for him, they had to trade him last year.
because he's
Chase
still
25 million this
yeah.
year.
Because
So technically
when
he's still under
last year
contract.
started, he had this year and next year on his contract. He still was on a 2-year
Yeah,
left.
but he was gonna sit
He was
out.
trying to get an extension.
Yeah, he was threatening to sit out, but he ended up playing. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was.
But and even
Led
if
me to
you
a fucking.
even
That's
if
where I
you
was, whatever, yeah. I know
even
what
if you
you're
extend Chase, when you extend him,
saying.
and if you were to tag Higgins, the price tag that you're gonna have to pay
No,
Higgins.
I'm
No, I'm
pretty
just
sure
saying
they got to
here.
pay Trey Hendrickson here soon too.
I
That's
agree
what I'm
with
saying.
Charles.
So
They're
why would
not
you
gonna
franchise?
You're
they're
not.
not gonna tag
You're
somebody
not.
that
You're not. You can't
potentially they
afford
would
it.
just end up trading anyway during the regular season and pay
You
him
can't
half the
afford to
money.
tag Higgins and pay who has
No,
coming up on the
no,
docket.
no,
You
I
can't.
I
agree.
mean, you're unless you're gonna be the New Orleans Saints.
And have all
There's
that
no
voodoo money.
there's no way you're gonna pay Trey, T, and J. You're gonna get 2 at best out of those 3.
And if if I have to pick between Higgins and Chase, I'm gonna go with Chase. He, especially one, because he just won the Triple
I don't.
Crown on a
Hold on
sorry
second.
offensive line.
I think it's funny, but let me interject for a second. I don't think it's between Higgins and Chase.
Higgins and Hendrickson.
I think it's between Higgins and
And I'm gonna go
Hendrickson.
defensive
And I'm
because
going to go with Hendrickson.
yeah,
But whether it's
no-brainer.
left or right,
Higgins is still the odd man out.
But
Higgins
here's
is
the
still
thing:
the odd man out.
Hendrickson is 30, going to be 31, and T Higgins is 26.
Yeah, but Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year.
2 years
had a-
back
he-
to back, 2 years in a row.
Back to back.
He's an immovable object for Cincinnati.
That dude,
You're not letting that
you're-
man walk.
You're getting that. You're getting another 3-4
Well,
years out of that dude.
Well, not
I
only
mean,
that,
even if he doesn't lead the league in
And it's
fucking
still,
sacks.
to me, he doesn't look like he's wearing any pads.
well, here's the
Yeah,
thing:
he doesn't wear gloves.
T Higgins is expected to get a contract between 26 and 30 million a year.
That makes sense.
Because
Especially
that's top 5 money. He's
because what
already
did Jefferson get? What was his number?
28 or 30, 31. I don't know.
Because he's not getting more than Jefferson.
The average for a top 5 is 26.18 million, which would be the franchise.
If he wants to win a Super Bowl, he's not getting Jefferson.
No. He'd probably do the 20 to 25, 24 to 25. Yeah, he's gonna take just below top 10 money probably.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, for sure. Like Charles said, it's probably gonna be fucking Kansas City. They'll mortgage the farm again and get somebody like that. I wouldn't be surprised. At some point, Kansas City has to absolutely completely sell out to win a Super Bowl again because they have an aging offensive line. Chris Jones obviously showed his age.
And
in
they
the
can't
freaking
afford to
Super
keep
Bowl.
Trey Smith.
Timeout. This is some of the cheapest fucking owners in the game.
Yeah, I know this.
I'm talking Arizona Cardinals cheap. They ain't
Yeah.
gonna sell out. And again,
Well, I'm not saying sell out, but they do a lot of one-year deals.
no, I agree. Listen, I agree with you, Patrick. But I'm saying we're not going to see it from Kansas City.
Oh, no. If they do a deal like that, it'll be an expiring contract at the end of the season, just before the trade deadline, like they always do.
Yeah, but I don't even see any of that happening. Here's the thing.
Kansas City will be in another Super Bowl.
Kansas City is still a good fucking football team. No, they lost the Super Bowl after they won 2 in a row.
But their window for the AFC is it's theirs.
Yeah,
they own it. They have control over it.
I mean, you're always going to have teams like the Ravens, the Bills. You're looking at Denver's a really good team. The Chargers.
I just think that age is starting to catch up with that team. You saw it in the Super Bowl how gassed that defense was. It started to show its colors like throughout the whole season. They didn't score a lot of points. That offense was not that good. They won a lot of close games. They won like 12 games by 1 score or less. That takes a lot out of a freaking team throughout the season.
Bro,
who you telling?
Listen, dude. Listen. Hold on, listen to me. They went to 3 straight Super Bowls. They're gonna be fucking tired. I can't believe it. Like, I'm not shocked. I don't think that's an age thing. I just think that
Kelsey said that. I think
a week. It was an age thing. Chris Jones is like he's getting up.
But not just that.
Years old,
Travis Kelsey said this. I think on his podcast with Jason. They said that our team, especially like the core players that are on that team for the last 6-7 years, you're playing an extra 3 to 4 games every season for 7 seasons straight. that wears on somebody after a while.
It's just a lot of football, man.
Because because this is the thing. You're at the minimum. You're
They're only
making it to the
playing 3
AFC
extra games
Championship
'cause
game.
They had to buy every year.
But I'm just saying. But
Play
either
one
way,
game
you're.
in the AFC
But I'm
Championship.
saying
Jesus,
you're
Christ.
playing at
It's
least
still
3 to 4
Hey,
games.
don't sit there and say that the freaking
But
bye week
I'm just
isn't
saying, for
bullshit.
7 years straight,
win
for
one
7
game
years
in the
straight,
AFC.
you're either making
if you're
the
making it
AFC
to the
Championship or
Yeah.
the Super Bowl
I know, I'm just
every
saying
single year.
So
At
yeah,
least
at
2
about year 4, the bye seems to be important.
I'm just telling the importance. I'm not saying that they.
But you're
I'm
adding
just
an
saying it's
extra 2 to
important,
3
yeah.
games at a minimum, sometimes 4, depending if you
Didn't
get a
help
first round
Detroit.
bye or not. Every year for 7 years straight, not a year, 2 years you don't make it. This has been for 7 years straight. They've been adding at least 2 to 4 games to their body than anybody else.
But then I
Consecutively.
brought this whole point up, and you're telling me that the high school kids should be able to do it in college football.
You fucking A, they should.
I don't know. I'm only saying this because you were you're just talking
Listen,
about playing
at
too
this
many
point,
games.
we're paying you to
Yeah,
play a
I'm getting
game.
paid shit
So
tons of money. I don't care how many games.
You're
you play.
you're not adding a game in college football like you're adding it in the NFL. You gypsy.
because they went from 16 games to 17 games. They're still playing the same bowl game. We're not doing this shit
We're
again.
not doing this again. No. We're on the NFL right now. Stay back. Yeah, you son of a bitch.
He sucks me back in.
You brought it up.
No, you
You're
brought it
right.
up.
You brought it up.
it
You
up.
said they can play so many games, and they should because they're getting paid.
Listen, what was the 49ers issue this year?
Injuries.
And why did they acquire those injuries?
I don't know. Just
they
because
played
Because they went to
Games.
3 straight NFC fucking championship games and 2 fucking Super
Well,
Bowls.
two of those players got hurt in the postseason.
Like, it's a lot of football. So the fact that there are 4 things you need to win in the NFL. We talk about this all the time, okay? And the Eagles had the 4th thing better than anyone else by the end of the season. It's offense, defense, special teams, and health. Look at the Lions. The Lions had 3 of the 4, but the 4th one tore them down.
Them injuries.
You look at the 49ers.
Yeah, we called that out.
Right, but it doesn't, regardless, you look at the 49ers. They've got a great offense. They've got a great defense. They generally have a better special teams than what they had last year, but they've got a great special teams. But they lost the fucking health battle. Look at the Texans lost the health battle. I mean, you can go down and down the list, right?
Like, they lost their two of their top receivers back to back. Real close to each other.
The Eagles were way healthier than Kansas City. Now, that is not why the Eagles won, but
it's
probably,
a definite benefit.
Probably why they won 40-6 or whatever the fuck it was, right? Like, it wasn't a football game. Now, again, we haven't had one of those in a long time. I think out of the last 7 Super Bowls, 4 of them have been 3 points, right? So
yeah, there's actually the Chiefs aren't that old. Their average age is only behind the Packers and the
I think it's just
Buccaneers.
it was wear and tear. 7 years straight. That'll do
complacency.
something.
There's a list of things that is, but I just
never complain about that.
Again.
But he also conditioned himself.
I'm just
Better than most people
Well,
did.
I mean,
he did.
From my
That's what I'm
opinion,
saying.
it's just with the Chiefs. It's not age. It's just time.
Maybe.
And it's not saying that their run is over. I'm like, they lost.
No.
It's okay.
I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying, but it's only going to get tougher from here.
Okay. So in the world of yin and yang, if a team is losing nothing but 1-score games, do they flip the switch next year and start winning those games?
Kansas City has a lot of holes next year.
There's a person in this room who can answer this perfectly. It happens to him often.
Is that what
Yes,
was that to me? Can you repeat the question again?
Okay, so teams that lose 1-score games often, do they flip it around the next year and start winning those games?
It still could possibly be the same scenario all over again.
Why
But
can't
it could be possible, yes.
If you have the best record,
But a lot of
next season,
factors have to play
right,
into that.
but most
situation.
of the time, thus far throughout history,
It's not going to happen.
You don't just flip a light switch. So why do we think it's going to happen to the Chiefs? Just on the opposite side of it, like And one of the things when I was on the Swifty board, by the way, was I was like, it doesn't matter. They don't have to score 23 points if they're only giving up 19. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, they played a really shitty schedule too.
And we're big fans of that. We talk about that often.
I mean, that did play a big factor.
And it does play a big factor
until the playoffs, and they did prove that they could beat the teams in the playoffs.
I was going to say, again, the playoffs,
a different story.
It's a completely different story. But the point with all of that though being is just like
the thing is, I think
they don't go 15-0 in one score games, but there's no reason they're going to go 7-9.
No. I'm just saying though,
10-5 maybe in the next 15.
Let me put this in perspective so it doesn't seem like I'm just being the negative Nancy. I just have more faith in what the NFC teams are doing and how they're looking than I do in any team I look at in the AFC, and I say, hey, Kansas City, because I still think Kansas City is going to be the team to beat for at least the next 2-3 seasons. But the NFC, you've got Philadelphia is still young, and they're reloaded in that offensive line. I like the way a lot of these younger teams in the NFC are coming up. Hell, Detroit is going to get healthy again. They're going to be a force.
On the opposite side of this too, bro, Denver is looking really good.
Yeah, Denver. Honestly,
the Chargers are going to be really good, right, and Houston is going to be good.
My player was actually Bo Nix, by the way.
Yeah,
for Player of the Year, I thought Bo Nix played beyond rookie. I thought
who said that he was going to be good for Sean Payton?
He definitely wasn't what you guys thought he was going to be, but he definitely was.
Did he not carry that team to the playoffs?
Yeah, but don't
do Sean Payton's Drew Brees 2.0.
Don't undersell that. Do not undersell that.
What you're doing right now is like me saying, no, I didn't say Jane Daniels was going to get hurt. I said he had tiny ankles.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
He has tiny ankles, and he did get hurt.
Not because of his ankles.
He didn't get hurt because of his ankles.
He got speared in the back or something.
His ribs got hurt.
Okay, so you see what we're getting at then.
You did notice, though. I was
on the Bo Nix train with you.
I know it.
But I also was on.
Hey, but I won with mine. I said Jane Daniels is going to be the better quarterback. I guess next season we're going to find out if he falls into the syndrome of the CJ Stroud book. You're not here. I don't have a lot of faith.
I'm hoping that
team is
Caleb does the opposite.
Repeat. It's just. I love how people talk about the sophomore slump like it's a maybe.
No, it's definitely been a given the last.
It's how bad is it going to be?
The last 100 years.
It's not. Is it going to happen? It's how bad is it going to look?
Like even Peyton Manning had a terrible sophomore year, but it just wasn't as bad as his rookie year. So everyone was like, "Hell yeah!" Might have
been the terrible team that he was on too.
Well, I'm just saying. I think Peyton threw like 11 interceptions before his first touchdown, or I think him and Troy Aikman combined were like 1-24. Or 1 and some shit like that. Like
you turn it around. What did they say? I think the guy said it on a podcast. He was ex-quarterback. It wasn't Orlovsky, but he says you're drafted as a teammate, and as you move along through the system, you become a football player.
Yeah,
is what he said. And that's a pretty cool thing to say. It doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense, but if you think about it, you're like, you learn the system, you learn how to play.
Sometimes you gotta
take your lumps.
We show up to boot basic training to get the civilian beaten out of us.
Right, yeah.
And you show up to basic training as a civilian and you leave a soldier. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, not the same thing. Ours is way better, but
yeah.
way better. All right. They're fucking playing Chutes and Ladders. We're up here in Candyland. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Fuck you, Canada.
The analogy's there, but the comparison is.
I like it. Well, I have no skin in this game, but I still love listening to it.
Really?
I get the perspective. I understand.
So, all right, you've got Bo Nix. I would have to give mine to Josh Jacobs. Coming off of an injury, new team, new environment. You're not sitting in a dome in Vegas. Honestly, I would like to give it to all three running backs. Derrick Henry, Saquon, and Jacobs, but
they all had a monster year.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that to you with this much time left on the clock, so I'll just give you Josh Jacobs. DR?
If I had to give the best player outside of the obvious of those three that you just named, I'm going to try to go somewhere else, and I'm not picking Josh Allen. I'm gonna go a little unorthodox. I'm gonna go Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I like that
You
one.
know,
Happy with that.
just because of the simple fact that, one, for the last 2 years, you've literally put that team on your back and you've carried them to 2 division titles and you've made it to the playoffs. I feel like he's been a huge factor post Tom Brady era, even though that era was short. He's been able to still keep Tampa Bay somewhat relevant as far as a playoff contending team. Could they get a couple more pieces to push him over that hump? Yes, but I think he is probably going to be the main piece that keeps them doing what they're doing for the next few
Maybe
years.
the NFC South. Not
Yeah,
less.
and I'm like, but I think even though he's from Oklahoma,
Technically, he's from Texas.
When you say Baker Mayfield, does the picture of him planting the flag
every time,
does that,
every time.
I just want to make sure that
It's like
happens to Ohio State
if nobody
fans.
else had that moment flash
Did
when
it-
you
did it-
bring up Baker, you just
Did it
casual.
burn you so bad that his family was from Texas Tech, right? And
He was a walk-on
he
for Texas
wanted-
Tech and
yeah.
Oklahoma.
he wanted so bad to go to Texas, though. Like
I'm like, listen,
he had to walk on at
He's
Texas.
an OU,
That's
yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah. But NFL-wise, I'm proud of the kid, especially just because what he had to overcome from
Yeah.
Cleveland to Carolina to not knowing what was going to happen after getting let go from Carolina. You had to go be a backup in LA, and then Tampa Bay gave you a prove-it deal last year or the year before, and clearly you proved it where you got you a big contract in Tampa.
Well, now it does help that if you're a quarterback in Tampa Bay, you start the season with 1,000 yards. You just have to.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah, I get
I'm
it.
just saying. If
I'm
you're,
like,
you
in
start the
theory,
season
in
with,
theory,
you
in
start the
theory.
season with 1,000 yards, and then you just got to.
you got a leg up
gotta-
on in the
you
race.
just gotta
Baker
add to it.
Mayfield only got that job because of what he did when he was with the Rams.
Oh yeah.
But it paid off. He bet on
It did.
himself.
It did.
And it worked out for him. And you can see that he's having fun again playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, next week we should do.
Everybody forgets he was with the Carolina Panthers the year before.
Yeah. Next week we should do defensive players. Because I've got a couple big
Yeah.
special mentions like Xavier McKinney,
Yeah, I want to do a
Branch,
I want to do a live
Kirby
mock draft
Joseph.
with all 4 of us, or even if it's just the 3 of us, we'll do a mock
Yeah.
draft. We will pick the teams, Charles. You and I will pick cohesively together. We will do a live mock draft board, and we will pick a team, and we will see what that draft grade is for it live on the show. Paul, you get to pick by yourself.
Oh, that's so much.
Charles
fun.
and I have to collectively agree on what player we're going to
It should
draft.
still be interesting nonetheless. Y'all
Yeah.
got to bicker and
No,
fight
don't
who
worry.
y'all want.
Charles is going to basically tell me what player we should and why we shouldn't draft. But I'm going to be there. I'll be there clicking the button. Maybe I should just let Charles click the button.
Oh. All right, so that means I got to do a little bit of research this week.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
like
try
it.
to get the best draft grade possible.
All right,
Perfect.
I'm with it.
Perfect. Sweet. Do you guys got anything else you want to add?
I think we're good.
I want to say for one last time for the rest of this season that is now over, Aaron Rodgers, you got everything coming your way, and I'm so happy for the season that you had. Congratulations on being a douchebag, and fuck you.
A well-paid douchebag.
Yeah. I hope you don't get one offer next year.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
He will.
I hope he doesn't take it.
I think he's going to Tennessee. For all of our listeners out there, all of our peeps, thank you so much for being you. We know without a doubt that the world is a much better place because of people like you, which means that if you were to ask ancient astronaut theorists if we are alone, they would tell you, in fact, we are not alone. They would go on even further and tell you that we have never been alone.
Sorrice malfai, ora io ti per the eye, child of the mind, all rest of the blind. You go now, bad in your line. In school, I see the bag. My beast that bring your eye. Had a boy with a light skin in the style.